I mean,
Oh, hey, so like we live. We live. All right. All right, go ahead, share. All right. First and foremost, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, just in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai. We're ready to get class started. Y'all just seen the debate I just had with the Muslim brother Imam Bashir. To start off class, I just want to go over some of the stuff. Some of the stuff I didn't get a chance to go over. It's not a lot of stuff. The debate was cool. We didn't want to jam pack it too much. We just wanted to be concise with the points. Hopefully, if y'all ain't checked it out, go to the YouTube In the Black Media or ITBM official channel. That's what it is. ITBM official channel. Type that in your search bars, and you'll see it. Lord willing, just happened today. Myself and Imam Bashir, y'all know him for battling. He recently went battled Tazariak. He's also had past battles with the brother Tazariak, as well as Polite and various other people in the quote unquote conscious community he's dealt with. So this was the first of a three-part debate that myself and brother are having. This what was the topic today? The crucifixion. Then we're going to deal with the covenants, if the covenant was given to Ishmael, and then our last topic is going to be the resurrection of Christ. Is it literal or metaphysical? All right, so those are the three topics. What I was going to say. Also, we're back live on this channel, Sicarii. First time we've been able to go live in a lot of months on this channel. This channel also has super chats enabled, so anybody who wants to donate, give any alms to the ministry, you can do it right there in your chat, right on the super chat, right there. Let me take a look at it. Right there in your chat. Yeah, that dollar sign to the far right, you hit that, you give them your card information, and you'll do that. Shalom, everybody in the chat. How's everybody doing? We ain't been live on this channel in a minute, but Lord willing, we're gonna be back booming on this channel. But yeah, so I just want to go over some of these quote unquote law slides from the debate that we didn't get a chance to go into. But I believe I was definitely very well satisfied with the time I was allotted, and I believe I was able to prove my point through the spirit and power of Yahweh. So we're gonna go. Where was I at? Where did I leave off at? Okay, I went to the ritual room. Okay, let's start here. Matthew 27. Start Matthew 27. We're gonna read 23 to 25. I read this on there, but I want to go down from here because this is a point that I really want to emphasize, and it's so cold when you really analyze what's being said here. So let's go 27, 23, 25.
Okay, this is Matthew chapter 27, verse 23.
And
the governor said.
And the governor, who is the governor? Pontius Pilate, right? Pontius Pilate said, read.
Why? What evil hath he done?
He's looking at Israel puzzled. Well, what did this Negro do that we got to kill him, right? He's not understanding what's going on. That's why I brought up, and I always like to emphasize the fact that the high priest Caiaphas recognized and bore witness to Yahweh Shai being the Messiah. He was very adamant about it when you go to John 11, right? So this whole conspiracy of killing Christ is something that the high priest is doing because he knows this is the guy that's got to die. And I got to be the guy that doesn't. Because this is how a sacrifice for sin works. The priest puts his hand on him and got to kill him. So Esau, he's looking puzzled. Well, why y'all want to kill him? So listen, don't worry about it. Just kill him, man. We got to kill him. Right? Go ahead.
Come. But they cried out the more.
They cried more. Israel's like, nah, put him to death. Go ahead.
Saying,
and it's so funny because Christians will go, why do y'all want to be Israel? How many times you heard it? Why do y'all want to be Israel? You guys killed Christ. You're right, we did. And guess what? Because it's for us.
Right.
That's why we was responsible for doing it. Because it's for us. It's not for you. That's why you're not understanding what's going on. It wasn't for you. It's what Pontius Pilate is scratching his head. Well, why do we got to kill the guy? He's not guilty. We haven't found him guilty of anything. Yeah, exactly. The guy who's not guilty of anything. The guy who's blameless, spotless, That's the sacrificial lamb.
Come.
The rest of us, we got dirt on us, so we can't do it. Right? Go ahead.
Saying, let him be crucified.
Let him be crucified. Go ahead.
When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather
The Negroes was adamant. He's got to go. Go ahead.
but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person.
This is such a monumental scripture right there. Pontius Pilate said, the blood of Christ is not on him. Right? Go ahead.
Come. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us.
Israel said his blood is on us. Read.
And on our children.
And on our children. But we learned that in the church. I'm sanctified in the blood. I'm covered in the blood of Christ. Right? That's what Israel said. Now the blood is on us. Because we're sanctified through the blood of Christ Yahushua. They're not. That's why Pontius, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You're right. He ain't died for you. Blood ain't on you. Right? Go ahead.
Come.
That was 25?
That was 25.
So let's go to 1 Peter now. 1 Peter 1 and 2.
1 Peter chapter 1 verse 2. It says, elect according to the foreknowledge.
Elect, chosen according to the foreknowledge. Who had the foreknowledge? Of course, we know Israel. Read.
Come. Of God the Father through sanctification of the Spirit.
Read on.
Unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach.
So the sprinkling of the blood. If the blood ain't sprinkled upon you, then he ain't died for you. But when our people said, let his blood be upon it, that's the sprinkling of the blood. Right? Go ahead.
Come. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
That's right. Now go to 1 John. We go to 1 John 1 and 7.
This is first John chapter 1 verse 7. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Yahushua, his son, cleanseth us from all sin.
And that blood is what cleanses us. So when we say that blood upon us, that's cleanses us. Pontius, that blood ain't on me. You're right. You're not cleansed. See, but they're missing this point. So without the death and the resurrection and all this of Hamashiach, who they call Christ, we're not having them. We're not getting this sanctification. Muslim can't understand that. He has, like I was going into on a debate, the concept of sacrifice is alien to him. You don't read in the Quran about sacrifice. They're not about that, right? But Israel, and I made the point, when you go to the covenant with Ishmael, it said, I will make Ishmael a great nation and I will multiply them, but I'll make my covenant with Isaac. So when we do with the covenant with Isaac, it said we're going to be a kingdom of priests. So we got the priesthood. They don't. So we understand priestly things like sacrifices. They don't get it. They're just a great nation. They got all the oil. They're getting their little money, Dubai and all that. They're doing that, right? But they don't understand priestly things. So it's alien. When you go in the Quran, it's an alien concept. They don't understand it. So this is where the disconnect is, right? Go ahead. Or that was in on 7? Let's go to Revelation 1 and 5.
This is Revelation chapter 1 verse 5. It says, and from Yahushua, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead,
Go ahead.
and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
See that? We washed in his sins, from our sins by his own blood. That's for us. So other peoples are people who are in the mind frame of other people, because you got a brother that he's our brother, but he might be off in the Islam, so he's accepting the Ishmaelite's mind frame. Right? Hold on 1 second. Shalom. You see me live? Yeah, we live now. I thought you was calling me because there was something wrong with the live stream. Yeah, we live now. Huh? I did share it. Share it, Saints. You gotta refresh. Share it, Saints. All right, shalom. So yes, like it's a deacon, but so yeah, we washing that blood, and that's why. But for the people who aren't washing that blood, which will be an Ishmaelite and the Ishmaelites, they're going to reject that whole concept because they know they had to borrow all the characters out the Bible. They just created a new one, which is Muhammad. You see what I'm saying? But outside of that, they borrowed everybody that they got. including Christ. So they call Isa. They borrowed him, right? So they had to do certain things, but what did they do? They denied that crucifixion because the crucifixion didn't pertain to him. Matter of fact, hold that. Or no, you can drop that. So like in Romans 9, because this is another cold point. Which, and this is the whole thing. Paul was constantly harping on this. Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse. Let's get to the point. Verse 4. It says, "Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites? Read.
To whom pertained the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises." Whose are that's on fire?
Keep going.
Yeah. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
They can't get. That's why they have to change the narrative of what Christ did. Yahweh did when he was on the scene, because he didn't comfort him. The death don't pertain to him, so they're just gonna wipe the death out. That whole crucifixion, we're going to wipe that out. They either say, again, one or two things. Either there was a switcheroo or he survived. Which is, again, to survive a crucifixion is crazy. You see what I'm saying? Insane. So we see that they have to get rid of that because it doesn't pertain to them. It's not for them. He didn't come and say, I'm here to save the Ishmaelites. Right? If they were smart, they would have said Muhammad got sacrificed. But see, Muhammad was too selfish. He wasn't going to sacrifice himself. He wanted to get rich, have sex with 9-year-olds, you know, and stuff like that. He was into doing that. He wasn't trying to get on the cross for nobody. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Who is over all, God bless forever.
Israel is over all people, God bless forever. Read.
Amen.
Amen. Keep reading that.
Not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
They are not all Israel which are of Israel. A lot of people, if you pay attention, and this is going to come out probably in the next debate, we take a look at Romans 9 and Galatians. Paul is harping up on the other seeds of Abraham. Because we know we're not the only ones, right? Edomites, Ishmaelites, they all come from Abraham. So we all, when you deal with modern Christianity, even modern Judaism and Islam, those are the three dominant religions on the planet Earth, right? Three dominant religions. All fighting over the covenant. All fighting over our covenant. But it was given to us the whole time. So they all warring, and this war started back in the time of Paul. That's why Paul said, he said, they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Because at that time you had Herod sitting on the throne. Herod's an Edomite, right? He's an amalgamation. His father's lineage is Esau. But he got Ishmael and he had Israel too. Because his mother was a Levite and his father's mother was an Ishmaelite. So he's like the damn culmination of everything, right? So keep going.
Verse 7, neither because they're the seed of Abraham.
Not because they're the seed of Abraham. That's why he's elaborating. It's about Israel, not because they're the seed of Abraham. He has to tell the Romans this because you have Edomites and you have Ishmaelites that's trying to get their right to the Abrahamic covenant. That's ours. Go ahead.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
He's elaborating to him. Ishmael out of there. Go ahead.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God.
Ishmaelites are not the children of God. Their name in the Hebrew is Yashamayala. That means they have heard of God, right? That's why Islam is the way it is. It's similar. They do some of the similar things as us. Keep a beard, don't eat pork. You know what I'm saying? They heard of God, but they're not the children of God like we are, right? Because Isaac, this is interesting. When we look at Ishmael, Yashamayala in the Hebrew, he has heard of God. Then you look at Isaac, Yitazakak, which means literally he shall laugh. Isaac gonna have the last laugh. That's what that means. So yeah, you heard of God, but who the last laugh is, who's gonna really reign in the end, that's coming through Isaac, right? Go ahead.
But the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
The children of the promise. But now, Isaac has two children, Jacob and Esau, right? So now he's going to elaborate on which one of them it goes with. Go ahead.
For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, by our father Isaac.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, our father, talking to the Romans. So who are the Romans, right? But they'll tell you the Romans are a Japhetic people that he's writing to, right? That's out the window. Go ahead.
For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or
didn't do
evil,
any good or evil, read.
that the purpose of God according to election.
Election, like we read earlier, 1 Peter 1 and 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge. That's us. Read.
Might stand.
Uh-huh.
Not of works.
Not of works. Go ahead.
But of him that calleth.
But of him that calleth. Go ahead.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
Uh-huh.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I. So he just broke it down. Not the Israelites, not the Edomites. No matter what anybody tells you, it's the Israelites. And he's giving the Romans a crash course in this. Why? Because these were brothers who were living in what they call a Gentile state of mind. The Romans, the Corinthians, they've been alienated from being Israelites. They living up in Europe and following that way. So he's giving them that crash course and catching them back up to speed on where we are. Same way any of us when we come in. We don't know nothing. Brother got to say, we the Israelites. They the Edomites. These the Ishmaelites. They doing A, B, and C. You see what I'm saying? All giving brothers the same breakdown that we get when we first come in, right? Go ahead. What that's it on that?
That's on that.
All right, let's go to you said you had a precept?
Yeah. Go ahead. This is Galatians chapter 3 and verse 16, I believe. Now to Abraham, this is Galatians chapter 3, verse 16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saved not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ.
That's right, as to one through the Israelites, right? So that was essentially it on that. I was able to go into most of what I had wanted to on the debate, but those were kind of like the last few things, and it all ties in because I want to do this. Give me Romans 5 and 12, because the topic I really want to teach on is dealing with sacrifice, and understanding sacrifice, the importance of it, the importance of who they call Christ, Yahweh, sacrifice, etc. Because it all ties in. It's in the spirit. Because I had this lesson ready to go last week, and then we was late last week, and I had already went into 2 lessons. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep this for the next week. Then it plugs right in with what I was going into on the debate. So it's all in the spirit. But let's get give me that Romans 5 and 12.
This is Romans
because the question is, why do we need to do sacrifice? Right? Because of sin. If we never sin, there wouldn't be no sacrifice, right? But go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 5, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, as by one man,
Adam, right? Read.
Sin entered into the world.
Uh-huh. See, and this is another thing people don't get, right? Sin entered into the world. So Christians will say, see, that's that Israelite only stuff y'all talking about. That's nonsense. Why? Because see, it's Adam. It's about Adam. Sin entered into the world through Adam. But we know how to bang them with John 3:16 on the world, right? It's the same world and when it's talking about how sin entered into the world. Please stop that one. No, wait a minute. That's amongst Adam's people, the chosen people of his time, the Israelites of his time, who we descend from. So yes, sin entered into the world, into Israel, right? And you say, well, what Israel? It's not Israel, but it's what you would call a prototype for Israel. It's the same thing, just the pre-flood version, you know. And we back on that's why it says there's no difference between each side of the flood. Say just like in Noah's time, there was marrying and eating and drinking and all that. And the end came, same way now. So it's no new thing under the sun. So Adam and his people were the Israelites of his time. So sin entered into their world, right? Go ahead.
And death by sin.
And death by sin, go ahead.
And so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
That's right, that's 5 and 12. Okay, let's go to Hebrews 9 and 22. So that's why we have to sacrifice, because that sin entered into our world, right? Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 9, verse 12. It's like 22.
22, Salaki. Right.
It says, and almost all things are by the law, purged with blood.
Purged with what?
With blood.
With blood. They got to be purged with blood. Go ahead.
And without shedding of blood is no remission.
Without shedding of blood is no remission. So this is why sacrifice is so important. Drop that. Give me Genesis 4 and 1 to 5. Right? Now, if Salaki, I'm not going to jump in there. Salaki. Go ahead, Genesis 4, 1 to 5.
This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife.
Adam knew Eve, his wife, read.
And she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh.
Go ahead.
And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep.
Abel was what?
A keeper of sheep.
A keeper of sheep. Go ahead. And this is going back to Romans 9. The purpose of God according to election. Abel was a keeper of sheep, right? Read.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Cain was a tiller of the ground. Abel was a keeper of sheep. So a tiller of the ground is planting seed in ground and dealing with the produce that way. Vegetation, fruits, things of that nature, right? But Abel, he's dealing with sheep, animals, right? So if we really take a look at it, like I said, the purpose of God according to election, the Most High already has set Cain up for failure. Right? Go ahead.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh.
He came and brought of the fruit of the ground. There's a problem. 2 chapters earlier, as we're going to read in a second, his parents sinned. So with sin, to purge sin, you need blood. Fruit of the ground ain't going to cut it. But the Most High made him somebody who deals with the fruit of the ground. He ain't dealing with the animals. Abel, he's dealing with sheep. So what is he bringing? He's bringing the sheep. That's pleasing to the Most High, right? So the Most High is always dealing with an election, right? Go ahead. People say, white man say, well, it's not my fault. Well, hey, it's the way the cookie crumbles.
Right.
It's election, right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. My fault, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock.
You see that? He brought the flock, the good of the flock. Go ahead.
And of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel.
He respected that offering. I like that. Blood to atone for sins. Not pears and peaches and apricots. Right? Go ahead.
And to his offering. That's, you want to 4?
Yeah, no, I just want the 5.
Okay, 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect.
He had no respect to it. But the whole reason that needed to be an offering was because sin had entered into the world. So there's no purging that without that blood. So that's how important sacrifice is. Go to Matthew real quick. Matthew 9 and 13.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 9 verse 13. But go ye and learn what thou meanest. I will have mercy.
Yahweh said, I will have mercy. He's quoting the scriptures. Now read.
And not sacrifice.
I will have mercy and not sacrifice. So he's quoting an Old Testament prophecy. And he says, find out what this means. I will have mercy, then sacrifice. Read.
For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
I will have mercy rather than sacrifice, right? So now let's go to Hosea. Give me, pull up an, I need to pull up an NLT from real quick, because it makes it real plain in that translation. Hosea 6 and 6. Yahweh Shah is quoting of the prophet Hosea, and we're going to expound on what he means by that. Go ahead.
It's Hosea 6 and 6 in the New Living Translation. It says, I want you to show love.
I want you to show love. Read.
Not offer sacrifices.
Not offer sacrifices. Read.
I want you to know me.
I want you to know me. Go ahead.
More than I want burnt offerings.
More than I want burnt offerings. Right now, go to Genesis 2. He wants us to just be righteous more than he wants us to kill animals for him. That's what he wants, right? But there's a problem. 2 and 16 to 17.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 16. And Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
So this is a time where he just wanted us to have the knowledge. He wanted us to know him rather than sacrifice. There's no sacrifices mandated during the time of Adam. But he said, look, I've given you a command. All these trees you can eat from, read.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of.
You can't eat of that tree. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
You see that? Thou shalt surely die if you eat of that tree. But if you just would have known him, you just would have did what he wanted you to do, you wouldn't have to sacrifice. Just the knowledge of him, he'd have been more pleased with. You wouldn't have to sacrifice. But they broke that knowledge. So now what? Now you got to sacrifice. And that's what we saw when we just read in Genesis 4, when Cain and Abel had to bring a sacrifice. The reason why their kids had to sacrifice was because the sins of their parents entered into the world. Now we got to make things right. Somebody got to die. Why? Because the wages of sin are what? Death.
Yeah.
So sin is death. So as long as sin is in the world, somebody got to die. So the system that we had in the time of the Old Testament was what? The animals would die. Right? When you read, give me that Numbers 8, matter of fact. We're gonna go back to it again, but I want that real quick. You finished it, you hit 17 in Genesis? You're right. 17.
Yeah.
You hit it, all right, cool. You get that in Numbers 8 and 10 and 12.
Numbers chapter 8, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
It says, and thou shalt bring the Levites before Yahweh,
Uh-huh.
and the children of Israel shall put their hands upon the Levites.
That's right. So all Israel came and put their hands on the Levites, right? Read.
And Aaron shall offer the Levites before Yahweh.
So the Levites was offered up first. That's the first offer. Levites up. So all the sin of Israel is literally on the Levites, right? Go ahead.
For an offering of the children of Israel.
Uh-huh. So that death is on Levi, right? Go ahead.
And they may execute the service of Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
And the Levites shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks.
On the bullock. So what would Levi do? We would put our hands on the animals. Read.
And thou shalt offer the one for a sin offering.
You see it? And we would kill those animals. Because that's the wages of the sins of Israel was given to Levi. Levi gives them to the animal and kills them. Because the wages of sin are death. Right? There's certain sins that you got to die for, right? Adultery, idolatry, etc. You got to die for. But other sins, somebody still got to die for it. But it's going to be an animal this time. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the other for a burnt offering.
Uh-huh.
And Yahweh unto Yahweh.
There you go. So let's go to back to Mark 12 and 33. So it's sacrifice is something that, and it's a part of just worshiping the Most High. And even when you deal with other nations, they got their little fake idols, and they sacrifice to their fake whatever they fake idol wants. Some nations they want their kid. You got to sacrifice kids to them. You see what I'm saying? The Most High said you got to sacrifice these animals unto them, right? Go ahead.
This is Mark chapter 12, verse
33.
33.
Uh-huh.
It says, and to love him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself is more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Exactly. If we simply would love the Most High with all our might and love our brothers as ourselves, we wouldn't have to give that. It's a problem though. Israel's not doing that. So there's a need, a constant need for a sacrifice, right? Ephesians 5, 2 to 3.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And walk in love as Yahushua also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us in offering and a sacrifice.
You see that? Go ahead.
To God for a sweet smelling savor.
Go ahead.
But fornication and all uncleanliness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints.
Right. Skip to verse 17. So it says Yahushua gave himself for us. Verse 17.
Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yahweh is.
Salakia. Be ye understanding what the will of Yahweh is. That is the conclusion that he's making there. So the first thing he said was the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai and its significance there, going back to the fact that he really just wants us to know him. He just wants us to know him. That's what his will is, to know him. And if we simply would walk as if we knew him, there wouldn't be no need for us. And for that, Yahweh Shai gave his life to be an ultimate sacrifice. Right? So those who are be counted worthy, the elect, the 1/3, he's going to be the sacrifice for them. Right? But there's going to be 2/3, right? We know 2/3 shall be cut off and die. But Christ died, right? So that means there ain't no sacrifice for him. Right? Because they didn't take on Yahweh Shai. You got to take him on in order for him to be the sacrifice for you. So what that proves is, this is why even after the death and the resurrection of Yahweh Shai, we're going to show probably in a second here too, we're going to get to it, is the fact that they were still offering sacrifices. You read in Acts, sacrifices going up. Paul going to the temple, giving up sacrifices. Why is the question. Well, number one, you don't know whether or not you are the elect, right? So Yahweh Shai's sacrifice may not suffice for you if you're not of the elect. So there may be a need for another one. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people, a lot of brothers will say like it's dealing with the sacrificial law when we see certain things in the New Testament. But we got to understand there's no separation of the law. There's no this category of the law and that category. I mean, we could try to categorize it ourselves, but we don't see it in the Bible nowhere where it says this is just This is just for that. You won't see it. You see what I'm saying? So when it's dealing with the law, it's dealing with the law. Sacrifice is a part of it. Sacrifice is required. So when Yahushua, if Yahushua is the sacrifice for you, then you're good because there's a sacrifice. But if not, then you're screwed because there's not a sacrifice for your sins. Right? Go ahead.
Yes, verse 17. Verse 18?
I just wanted 17, so like it. That's Ephesians 5. Go to Romans 15. 15 and 16. And we're going to read the verse 18.
Counts. Romans chapter 5, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
It says, and not as it was by one that sinned, so was the gift. For the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification.
Read on.
For by one man's offense,
read.
Death reigns, by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness.
The grace there, right? Read.
Shall reign in life by one. Yahushua, Mashiach.
Go to 18.
Verse 18. Therefore, as by the offense of one, judgment came upon all men to condemnation, even so, by the righteousness of one, the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life.
Right, so that's the grace from Yahushua, right? That's him covering us as our sacrifice if we be of the elect, right? So let's go to Titus 2. Titus 2 and 12 to 14.
This is Titus chapter 2, verse 12. Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly.
Exactly. Denying ungodliness and worldly lust. That's what he would rather have. So when taking on the sacrifice of Yahushua, you got to walk with the knowledge of the Most High in order to be justified. If you're not walking with that, that's what it says in the Hebrew. He said, if a man continue in sin, after this, there remain of no more sacrifice for sins. You crucify Christ afresh. That ain't there. In the disposition that we currently have is we don't have a temple. You don't have a temple, you can't even try to go and bring a sacrifice nowhere. There ain't nothing you can do. That's why it's so important to have Yahushua. Go ahead.
In this present world, looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works.
Exactly, that's that sacrifice, to redeem that peculiar people. Leviticus 17 and 11.
Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
The life of the flesh is in the blood, read.
And I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls.
That's right. That's what the blood is for. So that's why the blood of Yahushua is so important, to make that atonement for our souls. I said on that?
There's more. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
That's it. Blood. Nothing else. Blood. So that's why we sanctify, wash in the blood of Christ, right? Back to Romans 5, 5 and 11.
This is Romans chapter 5, verse 11. And not only so, but we also joy in God through our Lord, Yahushua, by whom we have now received the atonement.
We received the atonement. Through what? Through his blood, right? But if you're not of the elect, that blood isn't covering. Ain't got no sacrifice for it, right? Go ahead. That's on 11. Okay, Hebrews 7 and 27 to 28.
Hebrews 7, 28?
7 and 27.
This is Hebrews chapter 7, verse 27. Who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice.
Because that's what had to happen. That blood had to continually be offered by the high priest, read.
First for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once, when he offered up himself.
He did that once, that sacrifice. So we see there being a need. Yahushua filled that void, filled that need for that sacrifice. Go ahead.
For the law maketh men high priests, which have infirmity, but the word of the oath, which was since the law, maketh the Son, who is consecrated for evermore.
So that's right. Evermore. Let's go to Isaiah 53 now. Isaiah 53. I want you to start at the 5th verse.
is Isaiah.
Read 5 and then skip to 7. Read 7 and 8. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 53, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
But he was wounded for our transgressions.
He was what?
Wounded for our transgressions.
Our transgression was he wounded. Read.
He was bruised for our iniquities.
Uh-huh.
The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
Right, go ahead to 7.
Verse 7, he was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
Good old John 3, 6 coming
yeah.
out. Go ahead.
This is John chapter 3, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
It says, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
In the same way Yahweh had to be lifted up on that cross. Who put him on that cross? The high priest. Same way Moses, being a priest, lifted up that serpent, Christ was lifted up on that cross in the same way by that high priest. Right, go ahead.
That whosoever believeth in him should not perish.
Whosoever believeth in him. If you don't believe in him, his blood ain't covering you. That atonement's not there. You ain't got that sacrifice. So you're screwed, because the wages of sin are death. You ain't even got a temple to go bring no sacrifice into, so you're dead. Because somebody got to die for that. Some blood has to be shed for your sins. No way around it. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
Right. So loved the world. We know what the world is talking about. That he gave his only begotten Son. Read.
Come. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish.
Whosoever believe in him. Again, that's the elect that's going to believe in him. Everybody, we know. Jake walking around right now not believing. Believe in a white Jesus, right? Go ahead. Well, he was probably Middle Eastern.
Right.
Well, what did that look like? And then this is the cold part. You say, what, like Osama bin Laden? You know what they're going to say? Yeah. Well, Osama bin Laden's not Middle Eastern.
Right.
Afghanistan is Asia, bro. they're not even Ishmaelites in Afghanistan, right? But these people, they don't even know that. How simple they are. Go ahead.
Come. But have everlasting life. Verse 17. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world.
Not to condemn Israel. Go ahead.
But that the world through him might be saved.
Right? Through the world, by him might be saved. He came to save the world. What world? Our world. Israel. But if you don't believe in him, then he's not. It's like you didn't bring the sacrifice there. You see what I'm saying? Just like now. Or just like in ancient times. You had to literally bring your sacrifice to the temple.
Come.
Believing in Yahweh Shai is the equivalent to you bringing the sacrifice to the temple. You don't believe in him, you ain't bring the sacrifice to the temple, nobody shed that blood for you. Now it's on you. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned. But he that believeth not is condemned already.
Is condemned already. Why? Because they don't have a sacrifice. So the wages of sin is going to visit them.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
That's right. Let's go to Hebrews. You got the name. Hebrews 10 and 1. We'll go to 1 and then skip to 18.
Okay, this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come,
having a shadow of good things to come, go ahead,
and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
Exactly. Because we had to always offer them every time we did something wrong. They never perfected us. But with Yahweh Shai is coming to his teaching, he's teaching us to know the Most High, to keep the laws in a real way, not in a way like, okay, I could just, if I mess up, I could just go bring a sacrifice. No, right? So he perfected us through his sacrifice. Go ahead. Or skip to 18.
Verse 18. It says, now where remission of these is.
Now, where remission of these is through the blood of Yahweh Shai, there's a remission, read.
There is no more offering for sin.
You don't need to offer anymore because you have been remitted, right? There's been a remission. Remission, when you look it up, it also means pardon. So that's really what it is. You've been pardoned. Here's the issue. You, me, us, we don't know if we've been pardoned.
Right.
We hope it. We believe in the Messiah, all that, because we're hoping that we're going to be pardoned. But we don't know. So if you don't know, there may be a need that some other form of sacrifice be done to try to cover your ass. You understand what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people don't understand. So when you see it happen in the New Testament, number one, it's a part of our custom. Like, if you stole something, right? Just like now, you steal something in America, you may have to go pay a fine, you may have to go do some jail time. In Israel, if you stole something, you restore plus 20%, and you have to bring a sacrifice to atone for that. That's how it works. So we in Israel, And that's how we being governed. You're gonna go bring a sacrifice to the temple because you broke the law. Even if you in Hamashiach, you still gonna bring that sacrifice because that's how our country works. You see what I'm saying? Just like America, you got to go pay your fine. A lot of people don't understand that. Christians will go, see, they're not sacrificing anymore because of Christ. Well, wait, it's our custom.
Right.
We do that. You know, this is what we do. Same way you go and pay your taxes. We didn't have taxes. We had something called tithes. You see what I'm saying? The Most High say, yeah, go tax this tribe. No, they say, listen, when they increase of their land, they give up that 10% and they good. You see what I'm saying? And that's what's going to fund what's called the civic things, the temple and all of that, right? But same thing with the sacrifice, though. We had to bring it. That's just what we did, right? So go ahead.
Verse 19.
But ultimately, especially now, with no temple standing, all our eggs are in the basket of Yahushua. Yeah. That's where all the eggs is at. Because without that, we're screwed, and that's why 2/3 is going to be cut off and die because they're not doing any form of sacrifice. Their whole life is based off of pleasing nature, not sacrifice, right? When you come into this truth, you begin to immediately live a life of sacrifice. Yeah. Because you have to give up things. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You got a point.
That's why you also have to present your body a living sacrifice.
We getting ready to get there because that's all imperative to our walk. But a lot of people not understanding. Like you come into this truth, then you meet somebody like, yeah, I can't live like you. You sitting there thinking, nigga, I used to live the same way as you.
Right.
I had to sacrifice. I'm afraid of God. You say, fear of the Lord, beginning of wisdom.
Yep.
So in fear of the judgment that can come upon me, I had to begin to self-sacrifice. I had to cut this out. I had to cut that out. But people in the world is not walking like that. They walking like, man, I can't, hey, look, I can't give up pork, man. Look, I can't stop smoking, bro. I got to pop these Xannies, bro. I don't know what you talking about. Why? Because there's no sacrifice. That whole concept they're not dealing with. Because Christianity, they're like, it's just Jesus, man. We're just Jesus. And we realizing that he got on that cross and we got to be worthy of being covered in that blood. So we got to earn that by sacrificing in a similar way. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. That was it on that?
That's on 18.
18. Okay, let's go to, boom, boom, boom. Jeremiah 33:7. 33:7 to 8.
Jeremiah chapter 33.
Now remember that remission of sin, where there's a pardon, there's no more need for sacrifice. Where there's a pardon. Read.
Verse 7, it says, and I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return.
Right, to return, meaning bring us out of captivity. We still here, right? We still in captivity. Go ahead.
And will build them as at the first.
Read.
And I will cleanse them from all their iniquities.
He will cleanse us from our iniquities. Read.
Whereby they have sinned against me. And I will pardon.
And I will what?
Pardon.
Read.
All their iniquities.
See that? So our iniquities aren't going to be pardoned until we get to that kingdom.
Yeah.
The iniquities ain't pardoned. So the sacrifice, we don't need a sacrifice anymore once we get pardoned. We ain't pardoned yet. So we live in a lifestyle of sacrifice. Hoping that we worthy when that comes. Like this brother said, keeping the fingers. Hoping when that time comes, we covered in that blood. Because if not, the wages of sin are death. No way around it, right? That was it on that?
There's some more.
Go ahead to 8.
There's some more 8.
Okay, go ahead.
Whereby they have sinned and whereby they have transgressed against me.
You see that? So let's go to Revelations 2:17. So that pardon ain't going to come to the king. So we don't know for sure if we have the pardon yet. We working towards it. Go ahead. See, but a Christian, he going to act like he already got the pardon. So he's not worried about living a life of sacrifice. I can do what I want. Jesus, man. That's it. Just love.
Yeah.
Just love. Right? Go ahead.
Yeah. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear.
Read.
What the Spirit said unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna.
To him that overcometh now. Not to just anybody. To him that overcometh shall eat of the manna. Read.
And will give him a white stone.
Give him a what?
A white stone.
This is key. When we dealing with a white stone, understand first that we living under the Roman Empire during the time of the authoring of Revelation. In the Roman Empire, if you went to court, they had 2 stones, black stone and a white stone. A white stone meant you were pardoned. Whatever you did, you good. You got that white stone, you're good, right? So him that overcometh is going to get the white stone. We ain't got it yet. We ain't walking around with the white stone. You got the white stone. I'm straight. We don't know. So we live a life of sacrifice. Because it's people don't understand. Just like if you walked around and said you was the elect, I mean, at that point, hypothetically, if you're the elect, We know that the elect is predestined pursuant to Romans the 8th chapter. So with that being said, that means hypothetically you can really do whatever, you're gonna make it anyway.
Yeah.
Like save is saved.
You see that? Yes, save is saved, right? Which and they base that off of Romans 8 predestination, which is true. But the problem is we don't know who's saved or not.
Exactly.
It was predetermined which of us is gonna make it, but you don't know. Because if you counted on that, man, you could just be whatever you want to be and say, you know, I'm gonna make it anyway, bro. I'm a part of that number. Yeah. And that's why even when it speaks about the endless genealogies, a brother going around saying he's King David, he's this prophet, he's Paul, or he's any of these individuals. Basically, what you're saying is you're the elect then,
right?
Because we know these men are gonna be the elect. So if you believe that you're this individual, then you believe the elect, then that means you're liable to do anything because you're like, I'm gonna make it anyway. Yeah. That's your mindset. You got a point.
Yeah, that's why even if a brother did say he was Paul, well, Paul in 2 Corinthians, like 10th chapter, I believe it's around verse 22, he said, let no man therefore account himself. No, he said, I dare not make myself of that number.
That's right.
Even Paul said he make himself that number. And that's why the scriptures also say, blessed is the man whom the Most High doesn't impute sin, because you can still walk righteously, but the Most High can still impute you for sin. So that's why we don't.
And you're passing it.
Yeah.
Because we done all lived the whole damn life doing God knows what before we can. We just hoping we getting pardoned for that. That's what the whole thing is.
Yeah.
You get brother coming to the truth and Most High still get him for what he did. You know what I mean? In the past, that he wasn't pardoned. We don't know. So that's why it's important we live a lifestyle of sacrifice so we don't receive the death. You know
that Negro spiritual talking about I hope I make it into the kingdom.
There you go. I hope. You see what I'm saying? See, when you did them Negro spirituals, they so damn deep. And then they teach us some revised version of it, like he'll be coming around the mountain. Everybody sung that song as a kid, not realizing it's about Yahweh, it's about Jesus. It's talking about Jesus is going to be coming around the mountain to save us. From where? From out of the master's hand. You see what I'm saying? All them songs about us getting saved out of America. But then they water it down, they rewrite it.
They got the key.
You see what I'm saying? You know? Go ahead. That was in 17?
No, it says, and in the stone a new name written.
And that's when each brother going to get a new name. Go ahead.
Which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it.
There you go. So now let's go to Romans 12. Romans 12.
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
So now our bodies are living sacrifices. We're sacrificing the things, the lust of our flesh, the things that we would want to do when we was in the world. We're sacrificing. Even teaching, going to the streets, camp, all of that is bodily sacrifice. So living that life of sacrifice is how we're sacrificing for our sins. All right? In hope of Yahweh. Read.
Holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
That's our reasonable service. We look at that word service, it's dealing with worship, the reasonable worship of the Most High Yahweh, right? So let's go to Philippians 2:17.
Philippians 2:17. It says, yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and service of your faith.
Of what?
And service of your faith.
The sacrifice of your faith. So having faith is another sacrifice.
Yep.
Right? Because it's so hard for a nigga to have, we done been let down so much in our life.
Yeah. You've
been let down so much in America, you don't want to have faith. Anything a nigga say, you just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, bro, I'm going to be over there 15 minutes to come get you. Man, this nigga, man, he's crazy. See what I'm saying? Let alone believe in God, believe in Christ. You ain't seen none of this stuff happen. You just been hearing about it. You ain't seen none of it happen. So just having the faith in that in and of itself is a sacrifice.
Yep.
And the reasonable sacrifice and pleasing to the Most High that we give the sacrifice of faith, give our bodies a sacrifice, etc. Right? Go ahead.
I joy and receive and rejoice with you all. That's in 17.
All right, let's go to Revelation now. Back to Revelation 8:4.
Revelation, I turn right to it. Revelation chapter 8, verse 4. In the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints.
You see the smoke of the incense, which is the prayers of the saints. So in the temple, the priest would also offer incense unto the Lord. So it says the prayers of the saints are also a form of a sacrifice. So when us praying, us having faith, us living a life of sacrifice, this is how we sacrifice it now with no prayers, our prayers being sacrificed. 141 in the second verse.
Chapter 141. Yeah, we got camp tonight.
Yeah, well, yeah, tonight, but then tomorrow is tomorrow, yeah, is downtown. Yeah, Manny Griffin.
I'll get with you guys tomorrow.
You said what?
I have to get with you tomorrow.
Yeah, come get. I know you probably tired, huh? Tired?
Nah, I gotta speak to my kids over in Europe.
Okay.
7 hours ahead.
Yeah, you gotta get them when you can. I understand that. What's up? We good now or what?
Yes, sir.
We good? All right, cool. Let's
Yes,
finish
sir. Where did we, damn, we gotta try to figure out where we left off.
on. Yeah, ask Ayash what the last precept was.
Yeah, Ayash. Akim, Ayash, soldiers.
Shazapanya,
Anybody, what was the last?
Well, just go to Ezekiel. Exodus 37. Because I'm sure they got it because they ain't talking about it being
Psalm
frozen.
141 was the last one they heard.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Exodus. Let's go to Exodus.
This is Exodus chapter 37, verse 25. And he made the incense altar of shittim wood.
So the incense altar, which our prayers are likened unto, are made of shittim wood. Go ahead.
The length of it was a cubit, and the breadth of it a cubit. It was 4 square, and 2 cubits was the height of it.
Read.
The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold.
So it's overlaid in pure gold. That's the key point to remember. It's overlaid in pure gold. Drop that. Let's go to Exodus 27 now and start at 1. We're going to read to 4.
Exodus chapter 27, verse 1. It says, and thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood.
Of shittim wood. So this altar, which is the altar where they burn animals at, is made of shittim wood now, right? The same thing that the incense altar is made out of shittim wood. Read.
Come. 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad.
Read.
The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits.
Right, read on.
And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass.
Thou shalt overlay it with what?
With brass.
Notice how one overlaid in gold and one overlaid in brass, right? It's overlaid in a more precious and better metal. The incense altar one is, right? Why? Because it's more desirable. It's a more desirable sacrifice unto the Most High. It pleases Him more. And also, the altar for the animals is substantially larger than the one for incense. That's dealing with the narrow, the narrow way. Broad is the way to destruction, but there's a narrow path.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That narrow, because anybody can come in, because you focus on certain outward things, right? Anybody can outwardly come and you see them bring their sacrifice and look righteous. How many people are inwardly? How many wicked niggas do you know that's really praying?
Yeah.
A wicked Negro he afraid to pray.
Yeah.
He knows I can't even, what am I asking? You see what I'm saying?
this.
I can't even pray.
Right.
That's all dealing with inward righteousness there. You see what I'm saying? Being upright inward. Having that. All that outward stuff, just like anybody walking around with some fringes on the t-shirt. That's cool. I see you. I say you Israel. Right? But what are you at on the inside? It's brothers that's walking around with fringes on all day. But they'll catch your girl somewhere and try to get at her.
Yep.
And she said, well, yeah, I'm married to such and such. Well, he ain't in my camp. I done heard of accounts of niggas say, well, he ain't in my camp.
Wow.
Oh, so the adultery only apply to your camp? Right. Nigga, I'll show you adultery apply to an Edomite. You can't have sex with an Edomite's wife.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's an old school game.
That's an old school game.
Yeah,
What's that got to do with me? That's the old niggas was doing that back in the day. That's an Isley Brothers song. You understand what I'm saying? And Negroes are still running that game. See, they outwardly, they appear, but inwardly, they wretched as hell. So that nigga, he better not be praying. You see what I'm saying? You out here popping in brothers' wives.
Yeah.
You better not be praying.
Right.
Go ahead.
And see, this is so crazy because here is a Christian will take a scripture, Romans 2:20, he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, and try to come with this whole spiritual Israel thing. When you seriously just read it in context, start at verse, I believe it's like 17. Really, you start at the top. It's just going into not being a hypocrite. Really, don't try to act righteous by wearing fringes outwardly, but then inwardly, you're a damn demon, man. Committing all kind of sin. That's all it's going into.
I got on my friend shirt. I want to do a drive-by in a friend
Right.
shirt, jumping that nigga out the window
You know, Jakes,
with a friend shirt on. I was keeping the laws though. You know.
Isn't Isaiah precept for that?
Which one?
He says, don't bring me your oblations.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I want none of that.
I don't want to hear it.
Because your heart's wicked.
Because I'd rather y'all just be right in your heart than bring me any of that. Just be right in your heart so that this ain't even needed. So we couldn't get it. Multi-sent us prophet after prophet, we didn't get it. Since Yahushua. Y'all gonna have to get it now. He gonna get on that cross, y'all gonna have to get it now. Right? And I'm gonna kick y'all out the land too. For real this time. Not like, oh, we just went to Babylon and we finna come back in 70 years. I'm talking about really, nigga, other side of the planet Earth. Y'all are out of here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. And y'all not even gonna remember who you are.
Black man always get evicted.
Yeah, so always getting evicted. Served the notice. Ran into Africa. Then look, got evicted out of Africa. Hamites like, nah, y'all niggas gotta go. We gotta build Wakanda, man.
Right.
We gotta get y'all niggas out of Wakanda, man.
Right.
You know this dude Akon is trying to actually build Wakanda?
Yeah.
He's getting ready to build a crypto coin city. Futuristic city. He got it. It's called Acoin.
Oh boy.
Acoin, cryptocurrency. He got the money. I said, man, this nigga that came here, sung us Locked Up, Soul Survivor. I'm so lonely. You said what? You said what? Smack that. Yeah. No, it's funny because look, smack that. Look. Because I'm reading the article and it says the Smack That singer. I said, damn, he done did Locked Up. He done did all these good songs. They named Smack That with Esau, right? Made all this money off niggas, right? Discovered that satanic demon Lady Gaga, because a lot of people don't know that. All that Lady Gaga money, that's Akon money. Took that, went back to Africa with it, and is building Africa into a real life Wakanda. Meanwhile, everybody that bought this goddamn album is still broke.
Right.
It's still broke. Great.
Right.
You played your songs. Niggas feel that Locked Up. Niggas fresh out of jail playing that Locked Up. Locked Up. Jeezy came out that Soul Survivor. Oh, that's that Soul Survivor. With song, remember the one with 50, I'll still kill you. Like, yeah, I will still kill. I'll still do it. I got you, right? Meanwhile, all that running right back to Africa, man. Yep. Building Africa, giving them power. Them Africans, they have no electricity, gave them all electricity. Yeah, some electricity. Yeah. Right? Haitians still ain't got no damn electricity. Why club with the Haitian electricity? No damn where, right? But the Hamites, they got electricity out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 3.
And then here we are. And it's funny because Negroes will tell us, man, come on, man, you'd rather be here than Africa, man. I'll say, you niggas don't know what's going on in Africa. You must have no idea. Them Africans is living life. I'm talking about luxury. I'm seeing African, how they put up all kind of European cars, beautiful home, luxury resorts. They just living their life. Right? But they talking about you will want to be an African nigga. Please. You kidding me? You don't know about that. You think Africa or the National Geographic Channel where they went deep into some desert of a village of 20 people. Right. Nigga, it is millions of people over there. And you mean to tell me that ain't but 20 of them living in this village that's all messed up? It's millions of them in that country. How the rest of them live? Can I see? Let's go to how they living. They done tricked us off the streets, man. Go ahead.
Go to Nairobi.
Yeah, go to Nairobi. Looking futuristic as hell, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans, all the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass.
Of brass, not gold. Right? Because it's a less precious thing. Right? Let's go now to Daniel 9 and read 24 to 27. Wow.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. 27 or 26?
24 to 27.
24, it says, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people.
And this is something no one ever wants to do. And I should have really brought this out against the Muslims. It's funny. I didn't even think about it. This brother came in the room after I was done, and the first thing he said was this here in Daniel, because this is cold. 70 weeks is determined against this people, right? Read.
Come. And upon thy holy city, holy city,
Israel, go ahead.
To finish the transgression and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness.
That's right.
And to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
Go ahead.
Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem.
That's going back to Cyrus and Darius and them, the Medo-Persians. Go ahead.
In Artaxerxes.
Artaxerxes, come.
Unto the Messiah, the Prince.
Unto Yahushua, Christ, read.
Shall be 7 weeks.
7 weeks, go ahead.
And 62 weeks.
7 weeks and 62 weeks. So that's 69 weeks.
The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times.
That's when Ezra and Nehemiah, we building up our city back, but they were attacking us. They were trying to prevent us from building. Right, the heathens. Go ahead.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
After 62 weeks, 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. That's the crucifixion. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, after the 7.
Right.
7.
Yeah, after the 7, so that's 69.
But not for himself, and the people of the...
But not for himself,
Yeah,
for Israel. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
That's Titus and them. Go ahead.
And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
That's right, but going back to the first point is, this all 70 weeks was to bring all of the stuff in, and to end the sin and the sacrifice and things of that nature, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week,
read.
He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
So we all at that point had to begin to lean on Yahushua. Unless you just want to die, because the sacrifice ceased.
Yeah.
They destroyed that temple. Trump talking about building a new temple. And it ain't even on the site of the original temple. Damn fake temple. Right, go ahead.
Slack it. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate.
Right.
Even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
So now let's go to Ezekiel 43 and 9 to 10.
This is Ezekiel chapter 43. Ezekiel chapter 43 and verse 9. It says, Now let them put away their whoredom and the carcasses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. Thou son of man, show the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities.
Show this house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities. Read.
And let them measure the pattern.
Read. That was 10? Okay, get John 2 and 18. This is why that's key. So the angel is showing the prophet Ezekiel the temple, a vision of the temple, and he says, show the house to him. Show them the pattern, right? The way in which the temple is built, right? And this is key to understand. So get John 2 and 18 and read the 21.
John chapter 2 verse 18. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, What sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou dost these things?
Go ahead.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple.
Read.
And in 3 days I will raise it up.
In 3 days I'll raise it up, right? Read.
Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building. And wilt thou rear it up in 3 days?
Read.
But he spake of the temple of his body.
Of what?
Of his body.
Of his body. This is why it's important, because when you look at the temple and the way that it was fashioned, it literally is fashioned after a man. It's got feet, it's got legs, it's got a torso, it's got arms, it's got a head, it's even got a turban on. When you look at it, the whole temple is literally built in the fashion of a man.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it also has 3 stories. See what I'm saying? So when you deal with the fact that the angel told Ezekiel, teach them the pattern of the temple, it's because when you understand things in the temple format, in the body of a man format, it's like a formula. So when Yahushua is saying, I am the temple, I am the temple, and then it says that we are members together of the body of Christ, it's teaching you the layers of the temple. You have the first story, that's just the actual temple. Second story, that's the body of Christ, right? But then the third story, that's all of us collectively. And that's where he's the cornerstone of it. Right there at that bottom floor, he's the cornerstone of the body, and we all are there as a nation. You see what I'm saying? So when he's saying that the temple was going to fall, that's when he was going to fall. But ultimately, the temple fell too. You see what I'm saying? But all of it came together to say that now us putting the importance of us personally being the temple, carrying our bodies as their own temple, right? now we are beginning to carry ourselves rightly as opposed to relying on that physical temple to go bring a sacrifice to it.
Okay.
Now we the temple, right? Go ahead.
That's not 21.
Salaki, let's go to Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 6 and 15. Because this is when Paul is going to expound on it.
Okay. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15.
15 and then skip to 19. Go ahead.
Okay. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach?
The members of that temple, who shall rise also in 3 days. So Christ died and rose in 3 days, and then we're going to rise in 3 days, but in a different type of 3 days. Not 3 days to a man, right? Go ahead.
Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot?
Right, go ahead.
God forbid.
Read on.
What? Know ye not?
Where you at?
Verse 19.
Skip to 19, go ahead.
It says, verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost?
Right, so we are the temple in the aspect of we are the bodies of Christ, but we individually also just have our own temple.
Right.
And the Holy Spirit lives in our temple. This is how we're alive. That's our spirit. That's where it comes from. Know ye not that? Don't be ignorant of that. So carry yourself as the temple. Go ahead.
Which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own.
And ye are not your own. So you need to respect your temple and carry it uprightly, or else the Most High will judge you for it and destroy you like the temple you abused in Israel, right? So now let's go to Hosea 6 and 1. So we can understand what the temple, meaning us collectively, rising on the third day is in reference to.
Okay.
6, 1 and 2.
It's Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. Come and let us return unto Yahweh, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days.
After what?
2 days.
2 days, go ahead.
Will he revive us.
After 2 days. What's after 2 days? 3 days, right? Read.
And, wow. And the third day.
And the third day, go ahead.
He will raise us up.
He will raise us up the third day. The same way he raised Yahushua the third day. As an individual. But us as a nation will be raised up the third day. Read.
Yeah. And we shall live in his sight.
You see that? We shall go back to Israel. Get that from 2 Peter 3 and 8 so we can prove what a day is.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Be not ignorant of this one thing. Read.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
As 1,000 years, right? So if it says after 3 days, that's after 2,000, or after 2 days, that's after 2,000 years. Within that confine of 2,000 to 3,000 years. Because it says on the third day. So not after the completion of it, right? So we know that Christ, the death and the destruction of the temple and us being expelled, that was about what? 2,000 years ago.
Right.
So now we're into the third day. So this is how we know the salvation is now. We don't know exactly when it's coming, but we know it's near because we know we're in the third day during the time in which he said he would come and get us. Okay. We would live in his sight, right? Go ahead.
And 1,000 years as one day.
That's right. Now let's go to Jeremiah. Read Jeremiah 7. Read 3 to 4. We're really going to go to 15, but I'll grab 4 in the NLT. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 3. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place.
You see that? They shall live before me. If you just amended your ways and your doings, if you kept your temple right. Right, go ahead.
You want verse 4 in the NLT?
Yes, sir.
This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4 in the NLT. But don't be fooled by those who promise you safety, simply because the Lord's temple is here.
You see that? Because that's what we're doing. We abused that temple. That's why the Lord got rid of it, kicked us out, said we ain't going to have that to rely on no more. He said, our people literally went, we're in Israel. This is the Lord's temple. He ain't going to let nothing happen to us. That's his temple.
Yeah.
Why would he let something happen? That's where his name is at, right? Most High said, man, that temple going to be rubber. And you niggas going to be out of here.
Yep.
You the temple now. Keep yourself right. You know? Go ahead.
They chant, the Lord's temple is here.
They chanted, the Lord's temple. Go ahead.
The Lord's temple is here.
They really banked on that. And that's why, and the Christians will use the verse 2. When Yahweh said, what y'all think just because y'all to see the Abraham, y'all going to make it? They say, see, look, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. It's just saying that just alone being an Israelite ain't what it's going to take.
Right, right.
If that's the case, what does this dude, K-Dub, when he made the diss record, he said, if you're black, you're an Israelite. And you are too if you're not white. Wait a minute, who said that?
Right.
We not just all non-white people are Israelites.
Right.
Nobody believes that. That's madness. The people are missing the message here. The message is we're Israelites, so the word is sent to us, but we got to do our part in order to receive the salvation. 2/3 ain't gonna get it, right? So go ahead.
Verse, what do you want me to jump? Verse.
Salaki, where was you at? Oh, go all the way down to 15 now.
All the way down, read all the way down 15?
Yeah.
NLT?
Yeah. No, read it, KJV.
Okay, verse
I
5.
just want to emphasize that it's the temple of the Lord.
For if ye thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if ye thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if ye oppress not the stranger, the fatherless and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after the other gods.
And that's another thing, oppressing a stranger, man. I just
I was gonna ask about that.
yeah, right, because this is a key thing. I was watching this interview of this OG Mexican, right? He when he was 13 years old, him and his homeboys, they started a gang in LA. It's called Hangout Boys now. And he was just telling the story. You know, his parents came in as immigrants, and he said, you know, I used to walk to the store. You know, 7 years old, I'm just walking to the store with some money in my pocket. He's like, the black guys would just come, beat me up, take my money, grown men. That's oppressing a stranger. You got a brother that's coming from another country, and here you are just picking on him, beating him up. That's the same thing in Miami. The Judites used to do the league when the Haitians is coming in. They used to do that. Then what happened? Then the Haitians turned into the Zopan and start killing every damn body. Now you're not, when the Haitian come here, you're not going to rob them no more. See what I'm saying? So the Mexicans did the same thing. And then people looking at them like they just monsters or something. It's like, no. When they got here, it was more of the tribe of Judah than them. So the tribe of Judah was oppressive toward them, vexed them. So all of this is a reaction. All this they talking about, Mexicans going crazy, doing it's a reaction. They're reacting to the way that they got treated when they first came, right? The Haitians did it. Almost every tribe do it because Judah been living in America, living good next to the white man. All of us living in third world countries, we coming over here looking for what they call a quote-unquote better life, a better standard of living. Judah get here like, man, damn, this Mexican, these Haitian, you dirty, you came from this stinking ass island, you know what I mean? All that, picking on people. That's what oppression of stranger is.
Yeah.
So what we're supposed to do is love, show our brother love when he come in. Like when the tribe of Reuben did, when Esau tried to bring him the black slaves. The Seminole Indians said, nah, man, we're going to treat these brothers good. We're going to set them up as chiefs. Yeah. We're going to give them our daughters to wife. All that. That's what oppressing the stranger. Yeah. That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Instead, what do? We oppress the stranger.
Yeah. And also some of them, and that's why the firstborn is supposed to have honor. It's supposed to be honorable. And that's why even the Seminole Indians, they say, okay, we're gonna take them to slavery. Turn around, boom, free them, let them intermingle, got the whole nine. You see what I'm saying?
Where you get the whole black Seminole thing. Right. That's him being honorable. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of us not behaving, even the tribe of Simeon, treating the other tribes bad. Yeah. Only tribe Issachar treated good was Levi. Yeah. El Salvadorian going to Mexico, the Mexican hate his guts. So for whatever reason, they just took the Haitians in. They just took us in. You go to Mexico, Haitians is getting love in Mexico. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no other tribe getting it like that. Yep. Right? Go ahead.
It says, neither walk after other gods to your hurt.
Right? To your what?
To your hurt.
To your hurt. Your temple, if we're the temple of the Most High, our temple is not supposed to be worshiping some other god. That's madness, right? Go ahead.
Then will I cause you to dwell in this place, in the land I gave to your fathers.
That's right.
Forever and ever.
And I'm kicking you out, and y'all can't come back until you worship me right. So we're here in America trying to get this right. Go ahead.
Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will you steal, murder, and commit adultery?
You sound like Negroes to me. Yeah. You steal, murder, and commit adultery.
And swear.
And this is so horrible. Y'all know this situation happened if y'all following it with 6ix9ine and he's beefing with Chief Keef, right? Yeah. Now he's being investigated. He didn't try to get Chief Keef murdered in New York, right? They shot at him. But then look, this Negro flew to Chicago, 6ix9ine, got Chief Keef baby mom, right? He's on the radio telling all. Yeah. Just adultery now there. You see what I'm saying? Well, I didn't have sex with him, but she performed oral sex. I mean, she's just shamelessly talking about it. Like, and then this is how shameless our sisters become. So the woman asked, well, which one was bigger? I said, this is so shameless, man.
I seen the part of the interview, but I didn't get to the whole interview. She was saying, He don't take care of his kids and stuff like that.
This is madness, bro. I'm watching this. I said,
We gotta go home.
we gotta go home.
Gotta get out of here.
Our forefathers looking at this like, yo, this is crazy. But that's why it's important that we walk uprightly now, because we got to get out of this.
Yeah.
To where Sisters is on a global radio station that it's just gonna go viral. Chief Keef got fans all over, white kids in Czechoslovakia isn't listening to him. They're gonna watch that video. There was 6ix9ine's on tour in Europe right now, matter of fact.
Yeah.
In Europe and all them weird European countries, he's over there getting his bread.
Yeah.
So they following this and they saying, damn, look at that black woman, look at the black men and Hispanic men. They just living like total animals, right? Just having sex with any damn body like animals. You see what I'm saying?
They call us animals,
Hold
but
on,
they
hold
still
on.
following us and still following us.
Exactly though. And then look, call us animals, but they still follow after us. What happened?
Oh, someone said they're saying it froze again.
It's moving up.
I don't know.
Ask them it's still froze?
Moving right there.
Yeah, if it's moving there and moving there, I don't understand. Sometimes it just be freezer.
Cut off at 6ix9ine baby mama.
We back though?
I mean,
At-
it worked. It was working for me. Not mine. Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, it do that. So sometimes it'll be good for some people, not. But it'll usually when it happens
Yeah,
like
just
that,
refresh the page.
it'll be good on the playback. So it's fine. But that's the madness our people are into, right? Go back on that in Jeremiah.
Come. It says, verse 9: When you steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal,
See that? Go ahead.
and walk after other gods whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name.
You see that? This is why the Lord was just done with us. Like he said, I'm gonna destroy the temple. I'm gonna get y'all out of there. Y'all come, y'all do all this and still got the nerve to come to this temple. Nigga with sense will stop coming here, man. Right? Just like some brothers be like, I can't go to church, bro. I can't. But then some is so evil, they gonna be at church. The ones that's there is the evilest. The ones that's not there, like, man, I can't. I ain't living right, bro. I gotta stop going up in here. I'll come back when I get right. Right? Go ahead.
Come and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations.
Most High is done.
Wow.
This is why that temple was destroyed. Right now, because of this. Go ahead.
And this house, is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, saith Yahweh.
Even I've seen it. Go ahead.
Come. But go ye now unto my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my
You
people
see that?
Israel.
He did it in that time. Let the Babylonians sack it. Now in this time, it's totally destroyed. Now go see it. Go see what I did. Go ahead.
And now, because ye have done all these works, saith Yahweh, and I spake unto you, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not. And I called you, but ye answered not.
That's right. Go ahead.
Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren.
That's right. The northern kingdom was already gone. Go ahead.
Even the whole seed of Ephraim. That's it on 15.
That's it on that. So that's why the whole temple got destroyed, because we dishonored it. So now we got to honor the temple through honoring our own temple and honoring the temple of what is Yahweh Shai, the Lord called Christ.
Okay.
But with that, we open up for questions. If y'all got questions in the room or questions on the live chat, shoot your questions.
Also, if I may.
Go ahead.
And I was just thinking when you were going into Cain and Abel, their sacrifice, right? And then going back in Hebrews, was at 9:22, where it says he requires blood. That's why it said in Isaiah 53, it pleased to bruise him, because he requires that blood.
Yeah, it pleased him. Most High seen Yahweh Shai on the cross. It was pleasurable to him. He said, "All right, this is exactly what I needed. This blood for this innocent man was shed, and this is going to count and cover the whole nation that believeth on." You see what I'm saying? That's why when Yahweh Shai prayed, when I was going to debate, he was like, "Look, he prayed to ask to be taken away." I said, "Yeah, but look," he said, "What? But not my will, thy will." That's how he ended the prayer. Whatever you want to do, if it's possible, take it from me. But whatever you want to do, Most High, this is not possible. You gotta die. That's the only way this whole thing is gonna get rectified, man. You gotta shed that blood. And that goes into the whole first Adam, second Adam, and things like that. And the responsibility really being on him bringing the sin into the world in the first place, which is why he had to take it out. He made it wrong. He had to come and make it right. You know what I mean? That's but see, if you start talking about that with some type of a Christian, man, they're gonna get totally lost. They're not understanding it's Adam. We're all from Adam. Jesus for everybody, and they're not understanding the protocols here. There's a lot of protocols in this book, man. And if you're not paying attention to it, you just gonna make anything up.
Right.
Right? And so you would gonna be reading the book, not knowing what's going on. Right? Questions?
Yeah. First question is Isaiah 54:1. We say, "Is the desolate the house of Israel since Jeremiah proclaimed the northern kingdom?"
Oh, okay.
To be divorced in Jeremiah 3:8.
Go ahead, read.
It says Isaiah 54:1. "Sing, O barren, that thou didst not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, thou that did not travail a child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, saith Yahweh."
Read on.
Verse 2. "Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy inhabitations."
Let me see.
Habitations.
Let me see this. This is good. 54. Okay, go ahead.
"Enlarge the place of my tent, of thy tent rather, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited." You know?
Real quick, I just want to get the point. Hold on. Yeah, that's not any logical conclusion. But this is really to the nation because we all became barren, right? So it's just talking about how we're going to inherit the heathens and we're going to be saved, etc. And it's following Isaiah 53 about Yahweh Shai, so it's all a result of the sacrifice Yahweh Shai made in Isaiah 53, right? Go ahead.
Another question?
Yeah, any other question?
It says, "Are African women the curse of Isaiah 3:23?" You know what I'm saying?
Are African women the
I
curse?
think she's talking about the Hamites.
You said Isaiah 3:23?
Where it's talking about discover the secret parts and the curse the crown, the head of the daughters of Zion, because they walk naughty.
Okay, but what does it have to do with African women? I'm trying to understand what you mean.
Are African women in the curse of Isaiah?
No, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. And if you go to Africa, you see that.
Yeah.
Them women don't have a problem growing their hair. You go to see the damn Cushitic woman, she had hair as long as she wanted to.
Yeah.
She don't even have the same, they don't even have the same texture.
Come.
See what I'm saying? So now the African women ain't under that curse.
What time is...
Or Hamitic women. So. Go ahead.
What time is class each Friday?
Class about 9 o'clock. It's supposed to be 8, but, you know, due to some things we had to, it's going to be about 9 o'clock every week.
Come. When did Judah in California... Oh, I think he's asking a rhetorical question.
Okay.
What precept established...
Well, what did he ask?
He said, when did Judah in California implement a genocide program against Mexicans?
When did Mexicans in California put a genocide program against Judeans? That's what I would love to know. If that's what he's asking, if that's what he's insinuating, that certainly has never existed. And if they did, they're doing a really bad job. Go ahead.
What precept establishes his name being in the temple, his name being in the angel in the wilderness, and Yahushua coming in the Father's name? What does his name represent? Is it the law?
No, that's his literal name. The law ain't just sitting in the temple. It's not just that. Like literally his name, like if you go to the actual temple, the name, that's how they know that where they're saying the temple is not the temple, because there's only literally one place that they've been able to find in the world that literally has the name of the Most High inscribed in Paleo Hebrew. There's only one place, and that's how you know it's in Tel Aviv, like you were saying. So it's literally the name in the forehead, because it's the name of Yahushua or the name of Christ that's called the Word of God, not the Most High's name. It's Christ's name, right? Is the Word of God. So the application of the law, because Christ embodied the fulfillment of the law, so he represented that. So, but that can be applied to the Most High's name. That's the Yahushua's name. It's a lot.
Next question is Galatians 3:10. What is that talking about?
All right.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 10. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law. To do it.
Yeah, and we're under the curse of the law. It's called Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. That's what the curse of the law is. People, Christians will say, see, there's a curse of the law, we're redeemed from it. No, we're under the curses right now. The curse is in the law. We're there. We're not going to be redeemed until that pardoning comes, which we were talking about earlier. So yeah, we're under that curse.
Why does 2 Ezra 8 and 8 say it takes 9 months to make a baby, but Wisdom of Solomon 7 says it takes 10 months? Are they calculating from different starting times?
No, not from different starting times. They're approximates. A full term is 40 weeks. Okay. That's 10 months. But some we call that 9 months. You see what I'm saying? Because it's full term is 40 weeks, but a lot of times you had that baby between 35 and 40. Right. So that's about 9, 10 months. Right. Brothers gotta stop being so literal all the time and just really nitpick them. 9 and 10. I mean, it's right there. If I said I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes, I was there in 7. I mean, hey, come on, brother. I understand the need to, some sort of the feeling like you need to, but you always need to. Just like sometimes they say 400 years, you come back and get approximately 430, 490. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not exactly about that, right? Though you got a point.
What's the 70 weeks? Help me understand that.
70 weeks is that 4 to 90 years. Yeah. Basically, Deacon just did a video on it. If you go to the channel, there's an in-depth video on it. But ultimately what it is from the time when we started rebuilding the kingdom, we came out of Babylon, Medo-Persians are ruling. We were supposed to initially start, but the heathens were stopping us. So from the time when the decree went forth that we had the ability to rebuild the temple and the walls of the city, from that time all the way to the time where the temple would be destroyed again and we would get ran out of the city 70 AD, that's about 490 years. So that's what the whole 70 weeks is about. Then in the 69th week is when Yahushua is crucified and all that happened. So that's all it's about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so because when you read it, because a lot of Christians will go and try to estimate from the time of the temple being built. But when you read it, it's talking about Jerusalem, from the time of Jerusalem under
as a whole city,
being rebuilt. So when you go from that to Christ, I believe it's about 434 years.
Yeah, about that.
And then each week represents 7 years. So 7 to 490, right? And then you just go into that and goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand now what a week represents.
Yeah,
7 is representative of 1,000. So.
Yeah, just like in like you have certain prophecies where it'll say like a day for a year. You see what I'm saying? So the 70 weeks is pretty much like a day for a year situation. Or when you go to Ezekiel 4, he had Ezekiel lay on one side for 390 days, and then the other side for 40 days, which would represent the iniquity and the punishment of both kingdoms. But he said this is a day for a year. So every day represented 1 year. You know what I mean? So it's depending on, or you'll see sometimes in prophecy, it'll say a time, and half a time, right? That's 3.5 years, or that could be 350 years. You see what I'm saying? So you just have to analyze the context of what it's talking about, and it'll give you the understanding on how to, put it in time. Right? You have a point?
No.
Other questions?
Y'all ever heard of Prophet T.B. Joshua? I think he's a feminine.
I think I might have.
Yeah, but I think he blocked me on Facebook.
I may have. What about
him? He just asked if we heard of him.
Go.
It's powerful.
We want to debate the woke church, y'all. So try to get us the new woke church. We want to debate them. The woke church.
Woke church.
It's basically the church of basically in a response to Negroes leaving the church for Israelites, Islam, and the conscious community. They are trying to woke the church up, get rid of the white Jesus, point the finger at the white man sometimes, you know what I mean? Still love them, but still point the finger at them.
What's this called?
It's called the woke church. It's the new movement, you know what I mean? So it's
it's comedy thing, wokish.
Yeah, well, we just, wear a dashiki to church, you know what I mean? Maybe they have an African drum circle 1 week at church. Like that's what the woke church is. So we try to debate them because they're the last stand of Christianity for black people.
Yeah.
Also, are they black people though?
Yeah, it's black people, and they're pointing out, even they're showing, they're trying to go into how founding church fathers were black, white people came in, corrupted the church, etc. You see what I'm saying?
They sprinkle the Israelite stuff in there a little bit.
A little Israelitish, a little Afrocentric, a little
kind of Christian lights.
Yeah, Christian, like, you know, a little bit,
Exactly.
because they seeing they losing members.
Right.
Niggas is leaving, so they trying to keep it, so now it's the woke church.
Right.
So now I want to debate the woke church.
Right.
Go ahead, let's put that fire out.
Speaking of drums,
Get them, let's convert a whole congregation, let's get them over, but go ahead.
because No Swag, he uploaded a video from that church, and his congregation, they were beating damn African drums.
Oh.
That's something that come out of a show, but I'm dead serious.
You guys tried debating that one cat out of New Orleans.
Who?
The one he recognizes the Hebrew Israelites, but ain't got to keep no laws.
I think
Philippi.
yeah, I think I've heard of him, but I haven't. We haven't tried to debate him. You know about
Is that the one that got the letter?
Yeah, supposedly with the
That's
letter.
how I came in the truth from a dude who don't keep the law.
That's crazy.
It was wild. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy, because I really had to stop kind of talking to him, man. Cause he was like, you know what I mean? Really, man, because, you know, he wanted to hook me up to it. I couldn't believe it, bro. It was like, it's unbelievable, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
There's a brother, Soldiers of Horror out in San Diego. He got woke up through another brother, and the brother kept telling him he wasn't an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Because he kind of light. He's he's native in Mexican. So he was trying to tell him he wasn't an Israelite. He was like, yeah, you an Edomite. And he was like, but wait, nah, I'm native. Like, my pops and him is native. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he didn't want to accept it. The dude who was telling him, he didn't want to accept it. So this brother started studying, surpassed him by miles.
Yeah.
Don't even talk to him no more.
That's
You know what I'm
what's
saying?
going on now, man, with my bro, man. You know what I mean? I still call him my bro, man, but you know what I mean? He just, you know what I mean? It was just a lot. He had females calling him on the phone, talking about this dude can't be in the spirit more than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to call him up, and he owe me an apology for something, and he really my brother, he gonna apologize. Like, this is what she told me after, you know what I'm saying? I got on the phone with him. You know what I mean? It just, if I really was following man, bro, that's really.
You would have got destroyed. Yeah, it would have destroyed.
Over, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
there's a sister I know too. Her brother brought her in, and then she was telling me, like, I went out to eat with my family. My brother's there. He ordering pork. I'm rebuking him about it. He's like, man, I ain't got to do none of that. You see what I'm saying? What type of madness? And looking at her crazy for trying to get on him about it, and trying to get on her family, or trying to not even getting on him, just saying, hey, you know, you shouldn't be eating that, blah blah blah. Getting on him, but he the one brought her in.
Wow.
I'm talking about, man, but see, it's crazy how many testimonies that I hear of that, but it's just showing you the Most High can use any vessel.
Oh yeah.
Get you in, boom, get rid of that nigga now. I got him in, I got get rid of him.
And I heard you debating the elders, the one West guy, because they was kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't really stick to the statute, they don't do the Sabbath, none of
Yeah.
that.
And
And that was a lot for me, bro. I was like, wow.
No, that was I was so
Founders.
Yeah, that's like he was like.
and because Deacon called me on the phone, he's telling me, I'm like, all right, whatever, let's do it. I hadn't had no prerequisite conversation with him. So I'm getting him finally on the thing, and I'm losing it. Like, yo, what are these niggas talking
Yeah, I heard you.
That's why it ended up being, I promise you, that debate was supposed to be 45 minutes.
No.
It was 4 hours.
Wow, that's good.
But I kid you not, bro. I'm sitting in the other room, and Isaiah came too, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, because he's like, how long is Chief for you to be on there? I said, man, 45 minutes. I said 45 minutes. He's not gonna be on it because I seen how it was going. I'm like, bro, it might go for another hour. And it's a whole another 4 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
4 hours.
That's probably the longest debate up because you got up there, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 4 hours? I can't stand a nigga for that long. Usually, you know what I'm saying? I gotta just cut
I
him.
mean, but
cut him off.
being that you kind of like the forefather helping us walk in this truth, was he tap dancing?
Yeah, now like a couple dudes, and even you have one of the dudes that was a general at One West, which is Lahab. Like they all are kind of teaching that now. Like not they all, but you know some of them are. They don't went. It gets too hard. Sometimes guys get tired.
I was telling brother about
That
that.
sound like for real.
I was telling about that cat, Yerushalayim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. He's done.
no, he's doing aquaponics.
Yeah, he's got his business, man.
Yeah.
And you know what's so crazy is, you know, because YouTube, they when you sign up for the ads and whatnot,
Yeah, they sponsor him everywhere.
he's everywhere. But look, no, what it is we're seeing him.
Yes.
Meaning the people who
Yeah.
he needs client base aren't even seeing him. We're seeing him. So he's wasting ad money because we the ones looking for him, and then we finding him and seeing him, and we seeing the ads. Meanwhile, the white person that wanted to buy his damn aquaponics, they're not seeing the ad. Crazy, see how that backfired?
Right.
Most High is cold.
Absolutely.
Right? Go for it.
No, I know more.
Yeah, but it happens, bro, because a lot of people, Because I didn't really know about him, but a lot of people were like, man, because there's a brother.
A lot of stuff he did, bro. He helped me out, bro.
No, a lot of people say that. There's a brother, our old camp spot in San Diego, we would come like right when this farmer's market would end. And there was a brother, he sold honey, natural raw honey up out of there. He would always come, always giving us jars and whatnot. But he was like, man, whatever happened to that brother Jerusalem? This is when he like first had disappeared. And I was like, I don't even know, dude, you know, but I keep hearing about him. Then down the line, everybody's like, damn, this brother, you know, he did really informative videos. And we learned a lot from him. And the nigga just said, hey, I moved on, man.
Yeah, he said, what he said was, I seen a little message. He said, dude was like, why you leave? He was like, it's not the truth. He said, I found out it's not the truth. That's all he said. He said, I found out it's not the truth.
Yeah.
Last little text I read on
Right, if that can happen to, well, I know you said it's not wise to say you're one of the elect, but me coming into it, I'm like,
Yeah, that's one of the elect.
that's one of the elect. And then I see a cat like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
so it make me scrambling. I'll be up here, I'll be like, Father, am I gonna make it? I don't know.
Make you tighten up, you know,
Yeah,
make you
yeah.
tighten up because you like, damn, anybody can go. Even going back to the Ariah was the main dude who broke these scriptures down, gave brothers the breakdown. That nigga went left. You see what I'm saying? So that makes you show Most High ain't respecting persons.
Yep.
Anybody can go left. So we always got to be, like I say, sober and vigilant, watching, making sure we right, and also not putting too much trust and faith in man. Because like you said, if you do, he left. Oh my God, I gotta go.
Right.
Like I said, I was just getting woke me up, so it could have been detrimental. Bro. I could have, you know what I'm saying? I could have been like, man, I'm going Muslim, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Because this could have been detrimental, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real. But I really was inspired by how you woke me up to it and everything. You know what I'm saying? He just started coming back and was like, man, the law's done away with, all this money. I get to this down. I'm like, oh, man.
That's crazy. But hey, a lot of times it's that responsibility. Dudes don't want to live their life with that type of responsibility, man.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the law, man.
But see, my homeboy, he owns a store too, so it's a lot of stuff. Like he owns like a little corner store.
Yeah.
So you know,
It's got to be jugging on the Sabbath. There ain't no way around that, right?
Yeah, he's not one kind of poison, just poison in it, period. You know, the candy, this
Cigarettes.
Yeah, tobacco.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The corner store is poison, period.
Period.
You know,
that's why it's in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
White people don't have corner stores.
Supermarket.
You know, they got Whole Foods.
Right.
They got Whole Foods. You go to
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I know I'm saying that right now to you right now, but I can't fall back because I see the Most High knocking niggas out the box.
Yeah, bro.
He ain't playing.
And when you see it, that's why I say you're supposed to beware. You go, oh, goddamn, damn. That was a brother. You know, that brother was going in, and then now look, he's bugged out. Or sometimes it's certain dudes that done died in the truth.
That's what I'm
in the
saying.
spirit, right?
No, bro, I'm telling you, first month I come to the truth, brother told me, and this is why, even though a lot of brothers will probably get offended by it, but I'm glad he told me it. He told me, look, if you go out the truth, God's going to kill you. He's going to have you get hit by a bus, because he was telling me about how his homeboy, he brought him to the truth, he left the truth, and he said days later, this nigga got hit by a bus, bro. I'm like, oh my God.
That happens. And then that'll make you. I don't want to get hit by it.
Right.
Some gruesome stuff or some freakish stuff, you know.
Yeah. And then we tell you the brothers get in the camp, you know, and you know some issues that happen, and brother has some disciplinary actions. I tell brothers like, all we can do is, you know, suspend you. Hey, I might tell you, hey, you know, give me 100 push-ups and crazy stuff like that. But I can't really do nothing to you.
Yeah.
But the Most High, He'll come get you. You see what I'm saying? He can do. We don't have with so much power. I curse you out. Hey, brother, he's going to rebuke you. You know what I'm saying? Most High, He can do a lot of things.
Right.
Somebody you love drop dead. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get in that car accident. You lose your job.
Yeah.
He'll do that. We can't do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we have to always keep that in perspective of who we walking in fear and who we trying to please. It's the Most High at the end of the day, you know?
Like you say, he's only dealing with one nation, man. So when you understand that, you be like,
And hey, look, and I'm that nation. So I gotta do what the hell I'm supposed to do, you know? He done kicked us out to the whole other side of the world. You know? Hey, and let him. Hey, go ahead. You know? It's us that's always gonna get immediately visited. You're gonna get immediately visited. You see what I'm saying? And that's the scary part, but also it shows his love. he don't immediately visit them because he waits till they see get all the way up here and does a damn raid and a RICO raid. You see what I'm saying? They hit on a RICO racketeering act. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what Maccabees tells you that. I believe it's first Maccabees 8. I think it's second Maccabees 8. He says he lets basically the sin of the heathen just pile up and possibly become a grand punishment.
Like the Canaanites.
Yeah, like the Canaanites when we ran up in there. And then now, with Esau in America, a damn missile parade, getting ready to rain on it. That's the ultimate judge. You ain't never heard of that judge. He's outdoing himself. Yeah, I just did all these judges. What I'm gonna do for these niggas? Oh, we gonna have a fireworks show.
One brother posted, he said every time somebody, he said, yeah, you kill one of us all. The Most High, what did he go do? Shoot up a school.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. They just get
a tornado or hurricane or volcano erupts.
They get
out of whole state.
They get killed, and then on top of that, the census just posted a article talking about how white deaths have surpassed white births. So the Esau just going out. They get ready to go out of style one way or another. It's happening. Even if it hypothetically, even if there wasn't going to be a missile fire, white man is discontinued.
Yeah.
You know, as we speak, he's getting ready to go.
What was that second Maccabees one?
I'm gonna try to find it.
You're all good. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check for questions.
Oh, I got something too.
Go ahead, Ken.
My grandma just passed recently, man. How are we supposed to really carry these funerals? And, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, the funeral, there's not too much regulations on funerals, you know, but just understanding that if you attend a funeral, you're unclean. So, you know, you want to keep yourself from doing certain things. After you're unclean for 7 days, you know, so you want to make sure you purify yourself the third day, especially emphasis on the third day. For that, you know what I mean, but just kind of refraining from
do you go to funerals?
I don't go to funerals. I'm a Nazarite though, so that's why I don't go to funerals. I can't go around no dead body. But
just took the vow, right? The vow.
Yeah, the vow.
That's why.
You just take it. You know, you just take
drink alcohol, grapes, none of that.
Yeah. Only time you do is on like on High Holy Day when you have to.
Okay.
But outside of that, like you don't drink no alcohol. You don't go to no.
That's why they would grow your hair with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if you do come across a dead body, you have to cut your hair, but you have to restart the vow. So after you cut it, it's unclean by the dead body. But after you cut it, you have to not cut it again. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it works. Because you basically, when you start the vow, you have a time determination. So if you make yourself unclean before the vow is over, you have to restart the vow. So you can make sure you reach the time that you had, you know, vowed to. You know what I mean? So that's
what's the study on that?
Number 6. You read Numbers the 6th chapter. It's all right there. It's all right there. You had Samuel, Samson, John the Baptist, them brothers that all took the vow.
That's right.
You know. And the word Nazarite, brother Acts, Nazarite means Nazar, which means like separate. It also means like a crown of consecration.
And the whole, and what you say about the dreadlock thing? You hear some camps say it is, and then some people say
Yeah. What we do with the dreadlocks, it's when you study Elam and Japheth, they were the first people on the scene to really have it. Like when you see our ancient artifacts, brothers had the braid. When you look at the detail, brothers had their hair braided and whatnot. So that's more so our custom. So like even like in Jamaica, like the weed and the dreadlocks and things like that. When you study it, really the East Indians brought that whole thing in there to the Jamaicans and whatnot. So that's really like it's like their custom. You see what I'm saying? Like a heathenistic custom.
The East Indians, that mean like a little.
Yeah, like a lot of them when they had a turban, you put that turban on, they got dreads under the turban. But see, it's a part of their religion, so they cover it. You see what I'm saying? But they be having the dreads because of, I want to say it's Kali, and also like when you study the word the thuggies, if you study the thuggies, them is East Indians. They had dreads, they had golds in their mouth. Not saying that ain't nothing wrong with you having the golds in your mouth, but they was wearing the golds in their mouth, and they were just known for robbing. So when the British colonized India, they heard about the thuggies, and that's where the term thug, that's why they start calling us thugs. They said they like them damn thuggies over here in India. You see what I'm saying? Crazy. It's crazy. I remember when I first found out about the thuggies, I said, man, that's bugged out. You had it? Okay, come on. How do you purify yourself? Purifying yourself just means wash your ass, man. That's all it means. Take a shower. Oh yeah, the Druids as well. The Druids had them as well. Real quick, so we have to break down Psalm 74. All right, good. Psalm 74 and 1. Psalm 34 and 1. O God, why hast thou cut us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? What is your question, bro, about forever? We have to go into the word forever, because forever don't always mean forever, ever, ever, ever. That's why when they talk about Esau being cut off, they say forever, even forever and ever. That's letting you know that's really forever. Forever sometimes is just used as a period of time also. What I'm saying is, if the Arabs settled what is present-day Morocco, then how is that cherry cheek flag that GUERRILLA got out of the vaults of America theirs? Shannon Clemens. That flag of Morocco is not the Arabs' flag, but they're the majority of Morocco now. So, I mean, you can say it is. Yeah, the 2/3 will be reborn in the kingdom. Just through the natural cycle of life that's been established amongst Israel. Because all of Israel ultimately going to be saved. Just some of them are going to have to die first and come back and then live in the kingdom. Versus brothers we working towards being saved from our oppressor in the eyes and the sight of our oppressor and going right in the first round draft pick. We ain't trying to be second, seventh round like the NFL. Ain't nothing worse than they go to the seventh round. You draft on the third day of the draft and shit. You know, you got a $300,000 contract. You know what I mean? That don't work. I know Kahan through the loins of the elect, brother. He was playing the scrolls King James used to make the KJV. The Masoretes, the beginning of the Masoretes was us, but eventually that was taken over by Amalekites, Khazars, who assumed our identity. But when you take a look at the Masoretic text, you compare it to the older text that exists. You compare it to the Septuagint. You compare it to the Dead Sea Scrolls. You compare it to the Kiddophinum Silver Amulet, the Sumerian Pentateuch. What else? What am I thinking about? What is this? There's another thing called the Amherst Papyrus. The Amherst Papyrus. All of those things, it all matches up what the KJV is translated from. There's minimal discrepancy, right? Let the brother know what the scripture is.
It's 2 Maccabees chapter 6. I thought it was 2 Ezra chapter 6. That's why I couldn't find it. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 12. Sorry, 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12 to I'm gonna say to about 16.
Rakab, soldier Rakab. If a man, he said, what do I tell someone when they call themselves free-spirited? If it's a man, let him know that he's a homosexual. That's what he means. He told you he's free-spirited. What he means is he's gay. Yeah, kind of bad. Use the women's because the water ain't running them in. What does being a Nazarite mean? It means being separate to the Most High. In a specific way, through not cutting your hair, separating yourself from alcohol and dead bodies for a period of time. Can non-Israelites be prophets? No, we're the prophets. A woman, she's a freak hoe. That's what she means. A woman is a freak, and a man is a homosexual if he says that. Shalom, other brother Corey Walker. What is the Holy Spirit? It's just that. The Spirit that's holy. Spirit of the Most High. Oh man.
Spirit that's set apart.
Yeah, the Spirit that's set apart.
Shout out to Lafayette. He put it in the chat. He knew what scripture I was thinking.
Come.
Shout out to that brother.
I never broke it down like that.
What
I never heard it broke down when you said the Holy Spirit. The Spirit is holy means sanctified, set apart.
Yes, right.
So how in the world can you have the Holy Spirit and
You ain't set apart.
and it ain't showing that you set apart?
That's right. That's a straight cut. Was Balaam an Israelite? No, he was not. But that was before we were established as a nation. So we got to understand the metric of what was going on during that. And Jesus died on the cross, spent 3 days in hell to pay for the sins of the world. Then why would we have to go to hell ourselves and pay them again? Because he did the sacrifice, but we haven't seen that yet. It hasn't, the new covenant isn't here yet. So we still have to go through what we have to go through. But the redemption sacrifice was made. The same way where Abraham made the necessary sacrifice for us to enter into the covenant, prior to us entering in, we didn't enter in until 430 years after Abraham made the sacrifice. We still had to go through hell and captivity in Egypt, even though the sacrifice was already made. It's just the MO of the Most High. I just came to the truth a couple months ago, so I baptized my daughter. If not, then what do? What do you mean, like in water? I mean, if you want to, but you don't have to. You have to, here's what you have to do for your daughter. Teach her the truth.
Right.
That's going to baptize her in spirit and truth. Is the word resonating and immersing her, right? I got info on the Arabs settling in the land now called Morocco from the World Book Encyclopedia, same place that said Arabs. How far back does father line count if an Edomite breaks the seed line? Yes, if an Edomite breaks the seed line, it's over.
Do y'all have any books, bro?
You say any what?
Any kids books? I want to get a couple.
Yeah. What you mean, like honest?
I want to buy one next time I get a chance to.
Yeah, if you go online,
Can I get it Friday next Friday? Can I buy it from personally or?
I don't got them. Deacon got them in California.
Okay, yeah.
So if you go to his website, deaconsicari.com.
Okay, yeah, I follow.
Boom, yeah, exactly. He got it. Yeah, I ain't get one.
A couple of raps too.
Yeah, Kanye. You know he got it. Yeah.
That sounds like a silly question, but you have any like tutorials or study guides on
What like a
precepts down?
Yeah, not really. What we do is basically we give brothers a 12, what we call the 12-week course. So that's kind of like an outline of what to study in various lessons and things like that, which get brothers ready to basically get down, come into the camp essentially. You see what I'm saying? So if after class, just make sure this brother got you on Facebook or email or whatever, and if y'all want it, he'll get it over to you.
Rich Johnson on YouTube.
Rich Johnson on YouTube? Okay, perfect. Okay. My last name is Cortez. I don't know, trying to specification. I have an understanding. I'm from the tribe of Israel and I have an understanding of everything you teach. I would like some edification of this, please. What do you mean? Edification on what? To the Israelite brother. I think Canada worse than USA. It could be. When the scriptures was written. No, Mario. No, it's not. It's not. You got to fight for that. You can get exemptions. They can't. You got to understand. Brothers got to understand their civil rights when they go into the job. They can't infringe upon your religious rights. And if brothers need to get exemptions to have beards and things like that, get in contact. We can point you in the right direction. We done got brothers exemptions before. There is no Hebrew Israelites that left Egypt before Moses. That's a false misconception. Yeah, they lynching natives. They raping the hell out of them native women up in Canada. We supposed to go to the street in Dallas, but we're waiting on a brother to get back so we can go. If he's a little too late, we might not. What nation, brother? The nation we were in the regeneration was the Adamites. I know that means if you're speaking in an unknown tongue that men can't understand and you're talking to the Most High, you ain't talking to men. I was with him with a couple of them, a lot of Democrats mixed with the Eagles. What are you talking about? Why? I mean, because he has a lineage documented. And we rejected him, and no Israelites really acknowledged him as king. It was so bad that even when we read when the crucifixion happened, they didn't say only Herod is our king. They said Caesar is our king.
Yeah.
Israel didn't even acknowledge this nigga Herod, man. Just before the slave triangle trade began, a war broke out between Middle East and European nations.
Not even Paul recognized him.
Yeah,
He
didn't.
said, take me to Caesar.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was just going over. Herod was just a nigga that was sitting like a figurehead. Whatever, you know, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Nobody recognized him. What website can we go to get the records of specific tribes that practiced taking the slave trade? What you gotta do is, you gotta just start. I mean, you can start with a Google. Type it into Google, and there's, you know, click around. You're gonna find various resources. Always check them. See how accredited they are. If they're on a college website, if they're Encyclopedia Britannica, etc. If they have validated sources, that's how. You know, just look up tribes that went into slavery, right, in America, and you'll see that it's a minority of tribes in West Africa that actually went into slavery. So we know that's, you know, the connection. Yeah, with New Jersey, now you need to get up with us, because we got Soldier Thamyad, Soldier Ikaran. So we got brothers in Jersey, and we'll be in New York next month, the 6th to the 8th. I don't understand what you mean, RL. Who's the next debate with? We have I have 2 more debates with Imam Bashir, but I also set up a debate with a brother, an Sicarii brother who's a ex-Sereno, who turned born again Christian. That's coming up, Lord willing, next month. All the Edomites appointed as Pharisees. No, Edomites were not.
He said he was a gangbanger though, right?
Yeah, he beat a murder charge through double jeopardy and became a born again Christian.
See, that's the thing too, you know, because my uncle, you know, still ain't niggas at any time. My uncle just did like 17 years, you know what I'm saying? So, but he's in the Christian heaven, you know what I'm saying? But that's the reason why, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever happened while he was there, he swore Christianity saved his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So now it's like, you know, because I chopped it up to him, you know what I'm saying? Then I sit up here and show him stuff, and I just bought him all the theories, you know what I'm saying? I showed it to him to where, you know, he'll get up and leave after a while. But he didn't get on too much, you know what I'm saying? But it just shows you to where, like, he kind of knows it's not right, man, but it's same him in prison.
So he feels indebted to it.
He's obligated. He feels really obligated to, like, you know what I mean? This Christianity saved my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna change it for nothing.
Yeah. That's exactly what the essay is on right now. So I'm looking forward to the debate with him. I want to see how it's gonna happen, because he's been trolling us for a while, and I didn't know who it was, but I had seen him do an interview about it before. And I'm not knowing it, and he told me, he was like, this ain't, you know, I was like, oh, that's him. So I hit him, I said, yeah, I do one with you. You see what I'm saying? I thought you was just a troll, you know what I'm saying? But you really a brother who got a story to tell and things of that nature. So I say, yeah, we could do a debate. We could set something up, you know.
Some people think it's religion that saved them is most high.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And they just got that zeal for it. Scripture said they have a zeal.
Not according to knowledge.
And that's
don't
true.
know.
See, but see, you understand? See, that's the thing problem with Islam and Muslims too. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of brothers incarcerated found Islam. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And why is that?
We are the people with the spirit from Jump Street.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, they stick to Islam because, like, you know what I mean? A lot of them brothers in the country. Yeah. I was in the feds, you know, so when I was in the feds too, you know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people pick up, you know what I'm saying? They want some kind of something to relate to. So they relate to the Muslims, the Christians, I mean, the Islam real hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially because the Muslims ain't gonna let you get raped or nothing. Nothing crazy ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I can dig Islam. I can dig them more than Christianity all day.
And then they really get, and then they get that belief and that understanding to where, you know, that save their life again, you know what I'm saying? To where I owe Allah.
JJ, we didn't get it, brother. So I want to understand your question fully, but we didn't get it. What website? DeaconSicarii.com. DeaconSicarii.com is where you can get the illustrated children's Bible. I mean, if I say white men can't be in our church, and a brother says, but you got to let the wheat and the tares grow together. Wheat and the tares means we don't know. Some brothers may be Edomites and you not knowing they look like Israelites. So we just accept brothers for what they, listen, what's your nationality? Oh, my father's an African American. Oh, well, I got to take you with that. That's what we know. But if he's an Edomite, then, you know, Yahweh Shai is going to separate when that time comes. That don't mean that you can just, damn, hey man, I'm an Englishman, I'm just going to come up in here. Nah, that ain't how that works.
So that can be perceived on the greater scale too, being that we're in this captivity and we're amongst them, and that they are a stumbling block to us.
Exactly. Well, that's why it says the heathens are left to be thorns. They just thorns in our side, straight stumbling blocks. If the elect is sealed, how is the last one who is sealed going to be able to know the Bible to face tribulation correctly? I'm not sure about that question.
Yeah, I see. So we got tares in our own, we got enemies in our own.
Yeah, that's right. What material head wraps? What are these made out of? These cotton or polyester? I want to say they're cotton.
It is cotton.
It's cotton, I believe. Where's the damn tag at? Whatever it is, it's 100%. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I used to wear it for the ride.
You see, you got, hey, you know where these come from? They come from back.
That's what they some of them.
Yeah, come. Luke 30, Luke 6 and 30 doesn't mean if someone steals from me.
I got mine, you see.
Luke 6 and 30, yeah, get it real quick.
Luke 6 and 30. Give it to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away like goods, ask them not again.
Right, meaning that's going into the teaching of Yahweh Shai dealing with turn the other cheek, letting things go, etc., etc. Loving each other, forgiving each other, and things of that nature. That's just what he's alluding to. Does that mean you have to not ask for your things back? No, it doesn't. Go ahead. Oh, I'm tripping. More questions.
Say Luke 6 and 20?
6 and 30. 6 and 30.
Cast out demons. That's what someone asked.
Through praying in the name of the Most High and the Son. That's how you begin to cast off demons. How do I get to this? I got a logo where I got the mob start. Get unwanted fellows out of here.
No, I got the. I'm out already. I got them out of here already.
Oh, Salak.
Is your conversation?
Yeah, beautiful.
Shape up
Yeah, that's a good point. Dude, that's what they do unto others, all those teachings come in.
Of course, we think it's about the other nations.
Yeah, no, we think it means the white man, but let a nigga take something from you. You at his mom's house, knocking on the door with the barrel of the gun. Where that nigga at? You know, our people are crazy, man. Listen, the mercy. We have so much mercy towards the other nations. That's why people go so crazy when they see us talking about all the other nations the way we do.
Yeah.
God, you haven't seen no niggas talk like this.
Yeah, you're right.
We love everybody. We hate each other, you know. But that's the change. That's the change that our communities need.
I didn't get that love from my people until I came in the street.
Right.
I swear to you, I did.
Yeah, because
Then I saw you how shot in each one of them.
You know, Christians tell you they love you in a second. They go and smash your girl.
But absolutely hate you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He said no. He said tape up. A taper is fine, but a tape up is not. A taper is not the same as a lineup. That's different. You know, I know a lot of brothers who get a taper to kind of give like an illusion, a line illusion. You know what I mean? But you don't really have it.
Right.
Yeah. You said what?
The taper, the haircut
Like a
right here.
taper.
The taper is where you like you said, it's like fading down, level down to where it's low. You don't go all the way bald, but you just take it low. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers.
Not to the skin.
Yeah, just not to the skin.
Gotcha.
I just thought of that after. Okay. Looks like How can you stop constant dreams and visions that keep coming true? You can't stop them. Give me Joel 2, sister. It was in the Bible. You was going to get them.
What was the question?
She said, how can you stop constant dreams and visions that keep coming true if you don't want them? Hey, you've been given it. Yeah, you work for you. Hey, look, that's what they always say. Like, I don't want this gift. Well, you got it. You got it. That's it. You know. No. The KJV got typo. I mean, the 1611 got typo. So watch this. This is Michael, right? It says Joel, but it's still Michael. Michael. What is this at? Where's Michael? Yeah, go ahead, man. Just regular.
I mean, I still can't fully understand it. You know what I'm saying? But
ships and things like that, floods.
Mine be really like in detail.
All right, this is
Go ahead.
When it's happening to
Joel 2:27.
Oh, okay. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 27. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
Read.
And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh.
So the spirit of the Most High is getting poured upon us. Read.
And your sons and your daughters
You, sister, read.
shall prophesy.
You gonna prophesy, read.
Your old men shall dream dreams.
Shall what?
Shall dream
Dreams. You're gonna have dreams. Go ahead.
Your young men shall see visions.
You're gonna see visions. It's a part of the sign of the time. Brother said, Chief, we briefly
What was that scripture?
Joel 2:27-28. Chief, we briefly spoke on it, but if a woman with children is single trying to get covered, should we avoid them altogether, or is there an amount of time? I mean, if she's single, she's been single, she's coming in the truth. She's not committing adultery like there's a brother in the truth that she was with that she ran out on. I mean, I wouldn't, I would say there's an amount of time that you should give to any sister before you take her to wife. But if she's single, you know what I mean? She's technically, you could take her. They didn't want him to you could give me a good Hebrew name. Hit me on Facebook or something. Email or Facebook, power to 12.
How much time should you give to a woman? I know the scripture says you should bring her to the council of elders, right?
I would say 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
Almost everybody I know who ain't done that has lived to regret it. I'm telling you, and I'm speaking from experience, man.
So what do you say about they saying that technically if she got a virgin or a widow, that it's all adultery anyway?
Yeah, no, it is. That's why I said we're in the adulterous generation, because technically it is technical adultery if she, like you said, if she's not a widow or a virgin, because she was put away, either she ran out or she was put away unlawful. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that we all bearing. You know what I mean? Unless we got a virgin or a widow.
Unlawful meaning she wasn't given a written divorce.
Even if she was given a written divorce, if she wasn't given it under for adultery, you see what I'm saying? Which if she's an adulteress, she's off any damn way. You know what I mean? But exactly, because that goes into the hardness of our hearts and brothers leaving sisters and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, because I know certain brothers who's like, look, I'm not even taking a chance with these women. Well, hey, brother, that's on you. If a brother does, he technically does. Like he's not. Some brothers are not dealing with women who not virgins. You see what I'm saying? Right. Meaning they're not dealing with women.
But it is some virgins out there, though.
It's a few. It's a few. See, look.
You better off finding a widow than a virgin.
Yeah. No. You are better off finding a widow than a virgin. You see what I'm saying? For sure. But it's a few, and it's. I understand why a brother wouldn't. Like a sister came to me and she was like, brother said he didn't want to court me because of X, Y, and Z, and I said, well, I mean, that's his right. You know what I mean?
He didn't want to marry you?
Yeah, he didn't. Basically, she went through a situation where she was with a brother, and then the brother left her. You know what I mean? So she was just left out there. And then the brother found out and was like, well, I'm not taking a risk with you. Basically, you know what I'm saying? And then, the sister was, she was ate up by it, but I'm like, hey, look, he has his reasons. Another brother may not feel the same way. I might say, hey, look, you single. You know what? That brother might not have been for you. That's how you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, RL, go visit your partner that's fighting that murder case and try to teach him the truth. Don't try to bombard him though. Just give him his gems and jewels. Help him out. What's the Paleo Hebrew for servant of righteousness? It would be Abad Tazadak. Abad Tazadak. Was the woman at the well the sister? Yeah, the woman at the well was a sister. Because she said in John 4, she said, our father Jacob.
Yeah.
If a girl is not a virgin, you can leave her anytime. No, you can't leave her anytime. If you take a woman to wife, you can't just leave her for any reason. In Matthew 29:19, you get that? Are you guys into investing? I wouldn't invest crypto. I would invest a Forex. I would not invest crypto. That's just me.
There's
Go ahead.
29:19. 28, yeah. Does it mean 28 and 19?
There's some New York videos I gotta re-upload, but we going to New York next month. Look at New York for Abraham was. You said what?
I think maybe Matthew 28 and 19.
Yeah, there ain't no Matthew 29:19. All right, what you talking about? Questions.
Have y'all heard Coming Kingdom, dude?
You said who?
Coming Kingdom?
No.
Coming Kingdom, Coming Kingdom. It's on YouTube, it's Coming Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
He's a nigga Igbo, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Y'all never heard of this guy before? Oh, yeah, I think he's pretty good. I mean, I know I didn't learn a lot from him, you know.
Okay.
And he didn't say but he was specifically saying to where like, just because I heard you say something to where you're not supposed to leave him, but he was saying to where if she's not a virgin or a widow, leave her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh my God.
he was
See,
like,
look, he's from over there.
He went the scriptures with it and everything.
If he's over there in Africa, they got them virgins growing on trees in Africa.
I'm not sure if he did have it.
Okay, but he's Igbo.
I know it's Igbo, and
Okay.
I mean, I've seen some stuff, man. But I mean, the dude seems like he really be in the spirit, man.
28,
Coming Kingdom,
yeah.
what's it called? Coming Kingdom of Heaven or something like that.
I'll check him out for sure. Go ahead, read
This
that.
is Matthew 28:19.
Uh-huh.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son,
Uh-huh.
and of the Holy Ghost.
Get Tobit 13:3. I'm gonna show you the take on it. I want to say we dealt with this last week too in the spirit. Tobit 13:3.
Chapter 13, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Confess him before the Gentiles,
Confess him before the Gentiles. Read.
ye children of
The
Israel,
children of Israel. Why? Read.
for he hath scattered us among them.
For what?
For he hath scattered us among them.
For he has scattered us among them. The reason why we had to go preach to all nations because we scattered amongst all nations. So it's hard. We can't just go somewhere. You got Jake walking by, Esau, Ishmael, Elam walking by. You see what I'm saying? So we preaching the word in front of everybody just to catch our fish up out of it. Right? Somebody said, okay, Con, you got it, Ariel. Shalom, brothers. Is 2019 the end of our captivity? We don't know. Anybody telling you that needs to watch themselves. Because if it don't happen, niggas gonna be looking stupid. We ain't going out like that this time. I don't know when it is. I hope it is. I hope 2018 is.
Right.
But I can't say for sure. What countries are the Canaanites located? All over Africa. They're located. But you got to deal with different tribes because different tribes could be Israel versus Canaan. So it's not necessarily about country. It's about tribe. Country is an Esau way to look at it. The way that the Africans are looking at it, they're not looking at Nigeria. They're looking at their tribe. Like, I'm Fan, I'm Iwe, I'm Mandi. You see what I'm saying? That's how they're looking at it. I think yoga is off. Yeah, I mean, if you're just stretching, that's fine. But like yoga in and of itself at its root is Elamite, idolatry, witchcraft type of thing. But you know, you can stretch though. You know, that ain't wrong. If you don't chip or wicked, no. The chip ain't, taking the mark of the beast is not the only way to be destroyed. It's just a surefire way to be destroyed. But you cannot take it and still be evil as hell, and it's not going to matter. You're going to get destroyed. You're looking for employment. Is it best to look for a job that doesn't require work on? The thing is, the importance of Saturday is so you can go out and do the work. So it is important for you to get a schedule that is conducive to you being able to teach the work. So having Saturdays off, Saturday is usually the best day to go out and do the work. It's the best day. You got people outside walking around. Usually the average job is a Monday through Friday thing. So getting Saturdays off is always ideal. but it depends on who you with, where you at, etc. What else we got? Y'all hurry up with y'all questions. We're ready to close out.
Y'all do the Lunar Sabbath?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So y'all Sabbath yesterday also?
Nah, Sabbath was on Tuesday night to Wednesday night. Tuesday night to Wednesday night. Yeah, cause dealing with it, like, what'll happen is this: new moon will come in, cause the new moon came in Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Right? So brothers keeping it Wednesday to Thursday, but we have to remember how we keep it. Our day started at sundown. So sundown, right? With anything, even in morning, or the even to even is the day, right? So if at 3:30 on Wednesday is when the new moon came in, that's still, it's not the next day yet. So to keep it that night is not proper how we would do it. You see what I'm saying? So you can keep it that Tuesday night, because that's when it would go, basically it would wax, you would see it go out, and then it would go dark. And that's when the new moon would come in, and then it would start waxing in or waning in. It waxes and it wanes. You see what I'm saying?
So yesterday would have been the Sabbath day?
No, not yesterday, the day before, but some people would have kept it.
Yesterday.
Yeah, well, some people would have kept it yesterday. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends. It just depends on how you're doing it, like how you determine it. Because once I really started to look at it, and I said, okay, it went to 0% at 3:30. But that's still technically the day before. What we would regard the day. What Esau calls the next day, we would call it the day before still. So we were supposed to keep it that night, boom, and then go into it. And then by Wednesday it would have been over. You see what I'm saying? So basically that's how we keep it. You know what I mean? So, but like I know in Israel, like the brothers that live in Israel, when brothers were just over there, they're like, well, you know, we did our stuff by observation. You know, we would look, brothers would blow the trumpet, look, the new moon is coming, etc. But like, brothers was like, look, in Babylon, that ain't gonna work too good. You see what I'm saying? But we have, you know, the calendars where we can take a look at when the new moons is gonna come in. You see what I'm saying? So we don't necessarily have to do the observation because it's already been mapped out and charted out. So we can just go by that. But look, like basically what they're saying is, well, the way we were originally doing it was literally by observation, which is true. But through the predictive system, you pretty much have observation in the future. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically how we do it. That way we can look at, okay, the new moon coming in at this time, so that we know we keep it on this day. You know what I mean? And
right.
Every 7 days thereafter.
See, like I said, what you was trying to explain to me, you got an app too, the Lunar Sabbath app, the Coming Kingdom dude.
Oh, for real? Okay. That's smooth.
Yeah,
that's smooth as hell.
I haven't really got on it yet, but and he was showing me too, where like, cause like you said, the new moon was, that was different when he was watching, but he was just showing to where like the new moon, the Sabbath was, say for instance, the Sabbath was Friday, and then the new moon was on Saturday. So how he would do it is from 6 days from that new moon. You see what I'm saying? Instead of it being 6 days from that Sabbath. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sabbath, like the Sabbath was Friday, and then next Friday will be the Sabbath again. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the new moon was the day after, so therefore that would off the Sabbath day or so.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, which is why I seen a brother. He broke it down. He broke it down so cold, and it's so simple. He said, okay, if I was born on, if my birthday is on a Wednesday, right? We don't celebrate birthdays, of course. People get all messed up, just say it, but he's just using his example.
All right.
My birthday is a Wednesday. This year. Last year was a Tuesday. But every year, I'm born on like November 10th, right? Wednesday, November 10th, but next year it's gonna be Thursday, right? So how is it that we can say that there's a set monopoly on a numbered day when we can't observe that anywhere? Any calendar, you can't observe it. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you know that it's this Monday through Friday system or Sunday through Saturday system. That's not even a real, we never even dealt with that. This is a new Esau's concept. Yeah. So we deal with numbers of days. What number of days based on what? The moon. Right. So when that first day comes in, that's the first day, 7 days after that, boom. New moon, that's the next Saturday until it restarts again with the new moon. You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, a lot of brothers is coming into it now, but it was something that people was really struggling with for a while. for a long
Yeah,
while. Get that
it's technical. Because if the Sabbath is off, that's something serious, though, ain't it?
When Paul said it, he said, "I judge no man in high holy day or Sabbath day." You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like, as long as we are trying to do something, but I know that when I look at it, I know what I'm seeing.
Right.
I ain't seeing Friday, Monday. I don't see none of that. That ain't there.
Absolutely.
You know.
The Friday, Saturday is the Sabbath.
Yeah, and
I started off on Friday. And
that's how I remember the first time I talked to a brother, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm keeping. He was like, he gave me the brown. I was like, damn, I had no idea. Like, this is all new information. I just automatically assumed it was Friday. Don't even told me. You know,
that's exactly what I was at.
it's cold. But then when you deal with it like the Jewish man, they keep it like that, and that's the reason why they wear all black and they do all that. They were dealing with Saturn worship. That's why they honor Saturn's day. Same way the Catholic worship is Sunday, they worship in Saturn's day. You see what I'm saying? That's their thing. So that's why we ain't set to none of these damn days. We set to what the Most High gave us.
Absolutely.
Genesis 1, sun, moon, and star. That's what we set to. Whatever that say, that's the day. You had the precept I'm looking for?
Yeah, you want the
About the first time the Sabbath was? Okay, boom. So this is the first time we ever was told to celebrate a Sabbath designation, right? Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 16, verse 20, and I just started at 22. It says, "And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread."
On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread. Read.
2 omers for one man.
Read.
And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, "This is that which Yahweh hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath."
Right, so the 6th day, this is when we're gathering extra, because tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath. Read.
"Unto Yahweh, bake that which ye will bake today, and seed that ye will seed, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning."
Now go up to the top. Now he said this is the 7th day now, right? So we're going to track when he started to count the days. Read.
This is Exodus 16:1. "And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai,
Read.
on the 15th day."
On what?
On the 15th day.
On the 15th day, read.
Of the second month.
Of the second month, read.
After their departing out of the land of Egypt.
So the timeline starts at the 15th day. So 7 days from the 15th day is when the first time we ever kept a Sabbath, which is the 22nd, which is in line with the lunar Sabbath. The first day is the new moon, plus 7 is 8, which is the first Sabbath, plus 7 is 15, plus 7 is 22. So the 22nd day is the first time Israel ever kept a Sabbath. Ever. So that lets you know that the first time we kept a Sabbath was in accordance with the new moon. No way around. You see what I'm saying? And there's another one, matter of fact.
You want Samuel?
Give me that Samuel. But where you need to start for the key is you start in chapter 20. Start in chapter 20, because I was just going over that with a brother this morning.
Is that 1 Samuel?
Yeah, 1 Samuel 20. Start at the top.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 1. "And David fled from Naioth and Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? What is mine iniquity?
Read.
And what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life?
Keep going.
And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will show it me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so."
Go ahead.
And David sware moreover, and said, Thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he saith, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as Yahweh liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon.
Tomorrow. So now we're the day before the new moon, right? Tomorrow is the new moon. Read.
And I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the 3rd day at even.
Unto the 3rd day, meaning I'm going to hide for 3 days, right? So now jump to the next chapter. And it's going to say when he asking the priest for the bread.
This is 1 Samuel 21 and verse 2. It says, And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, The king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee. And what have I commanded thee? And I appointed my servants to such and such a place.
Read on.
Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread
Uh-huh.
in mine hand, or what there is present.
Read.
And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under mine hands,
Uh-huh.
but there is hollow bread.
So why isn't there common bread? Because it was just the Sabbath. This is the day after, not even a full day, even after the Sabbath, right? Why is there only common bread? Because not common bread because they can't cook common bread.
Yeah.
But they could have cooked the holy bread, the show bread. So that's all he has for them. This proves that was that Sabbath, that new moon. Go ahead.
If the young men have kept themselves at least from women,
Uh-huh.
and David answered the priest and said unto him, Of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days,
Uh-huh.
since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel.
Uh-huh. Go ahead. So because it was replaced. Like basically every Sabbath they had to replace the shewbread. So he replaced the shewbread, then they had the one left over that was replaced. That's what he's giving to David. Because that's the only thing that's left now, which is the day after the Sabbath. Now they get ready to cook the regular bread. You see what I'm saying? So that also proves it right there. Chief, are you debating the cat from ITR? No, we're not debating ITR. We got a building relationship back with ITR, so we don't have no debate coming up with them. Israelites try to find brothers out of Chicago. Yeah, them brothers.
Yeah, they reconciled on, I see he had put the DVD, they said he was going off scripture about his
Yeah.
they got off of him.
Yeah, we kind of, we had got into it, and then we was able to talk and squash everything and just, basically just be able to dialogue on things respectfully behind the scenes. Because we've been knowing them cats for years, you know what I'm saying? So it's good that we, not fall. Like the scripture says, don't become not a friend. You see what I'm saying? Like it's saying in Sirach, you know what I mean? So instead of an enemy, so
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing that y'all able to do that.
Yeah.
People not able to do that.
yeah, brothers be too puffed up sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
we can't be on that time. Now, Carla, it's 4 times a week. Every week. There's a Sabbath every week too. Hey, can you spell out serving the righteous? It's Abad Tazadak. Somebody's, matter of fact, I'll spell it. Hold on right now.
Yeah, he did say first 7:20 though. Yeah, I believe that.
No, I put out my fault. Abad with a B, not an N. That's a typo. So like Abad. Nations rise up against slave master and kill them. No, that's not Judah. Judah didn't do that.
That's not him.
Yeah, Genesis 49 is not about killing slave masters, brother. That's about Christ's return. The prophecy about Haitians killing slave masters is Levi, Deuteronomy 33. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 33 and 8. And of Levi he said, Let thy Thummim be with thy Urim, be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, and with thy whom didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him.
Read.
Neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children.
Read.
For they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant.
Go ahead.
They shall teach Jacob thy judgments,
They shall teach Jacob thy judgments. Read.
and Israel thy law.
They
They shall put incense before thee, and whole burnt sacrifices upon thine altar. Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hands.
Read.
Smite through the loins.
What?
Smite through the loins.
Smite through the loins. Read.
Of them that rise against
Of
him.
them that rise against them. That's the Haitians winning that revolt, rising against the slave master.
Okay.
Smiting through the loins of them that rise against them. Read.
And of them that hate him.
And of them that hate them, who hated us, the French. Go ahead.
That they rise not again.
You see that? So that's what that is. That's why the only successful slave revolts were held by the tribe of Levi.
Okay.